Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? Thank you, Lord, for bringing us together another night. Frank, Dorinda, Jen, Red. It's good to see all of y'all. Conservative Patriot. Concerned Patriot. Good to see you. Cindy, always good to see you, hon. I think I got everybody so far. Eric, how are you doing? Wish you could swing with someone. It'll happen, Jen. Oh, I understand. Yes. Yeah. A lot of us would like to have that connection with someone. I don't know how to explain that one. um, I don't see it ever happening again for me, and I'm okay with that. Uh, I'm kind of set in my ways and setbacks and stuff like that. I'm good. I'm not worried about it. God wants me with somebody else sending to my door. Um, and that's weird because that's kind of what I'm going to talk about first tonight is love. Um, I hate saying that. Sorry about that. I will try to stop it. Y'all probably already all know this by heart. 1 Corinthians 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. I think some people might not even know what love is. Concerned patriot. You never know. I'm sorry, I've seen miracles. um, we all know God is love. Love comes, i- if you have God in your heart, you have love in your heart. I just think that they go together. Some people mistake that as a different kind of love, and there are different kinds of love. Your love for your children and grandchildren, like Patrick, are a completely different kind of love. And but then at the same time, love is love. I don't know. Um, y'all know the description of love in the Bible: patient, kind, considerate, respectful. Um, and then I look at myself and I think, okay, am I doing those things? Each one of them are pretty powerful. Each word of that is powerful. Being kind to people, lifting people up, doing for others. Um, as a community, that's our goal, is to help others when they need. Thank you, George. You're always appreciated. So, as a community, first that starts with the communication. Um, I've been saying this for over a year now, maybe two, that God has brought us all together here for a reason. Some people call us YouTube people. Um, I don't, I mean, in a way, I've said it too. Um, how can you really get to know somebody? We're in the YouTube. And, but then at the same time, if you really pay attention to what people are saying and feeling, um, it just, to me, they're showing their heart through their words. And so that's what you have to look at is, um, we have to kind of be careful of our words too, because if our words cause anyone harm or make them feel bad in any way, that's not good. Absolutely, Cindy. Um, I think that that's what God means when He's saying being boastful, is whenever we love ourselves more than God, more than others. Um, but again, I say, y'all are all so appreciated. I have really enjoyed getting to know y'all. Some personally, um, through phone calls, through backstage chats, through um, whatever means we have. That's communication. That's We have to have communication, and that's what we have to do with our families. Try to communicate. Try to um, see God through your actions, through how you treat others, just through you. Is your light shining? Sometimes I worry that mine's getting a little dim, and I have to just really get down and talk to Him and pray and pray for all. Everyone's everyone's on edge. Everyone's having issues, suffering. We're all going through this together. So if we can lift each other up, that's that's community. That's sharing the love. Another one is respect. Respect for each other. Um, I usually see that happening. um, Sometimes, here I go again. Sorry. Now I realize when I'm doing it. It's on a subject when I'm kind of not real sure about. Um, Respect first starts with you personally setting your boundaries. Each one of us with a channel, we have well, we should be setting boundaries of what we allow and what we don't allow. Where we're wanting to go with our channel, the kind of message that we're wanting to put out. Um, okay. I know I started out just kind of hanging out, and um, Pappy was a big influence at that time, and he would come up and give us all the words of wisdom and talking about the native ways and the things that we miss or that even the tribes, that's a community. And I just really still believe that they got it right. I don't know why things went the way they did with all that, but it did. Um, and I've said we're in cussing times to an extent, yes, but when you're trying to get a point across, I can sort of understand it. But when it becomes a constant in every sentence you say, then that's when it gets, um, how do you call it? Annoying. That's when it gets overwhelming. Overwhelming is a better word, I think. That's awesome, Garrett. I'm so glad you love music. Music's another thing that brings people together and soothes the soul and gets you moving. If music is great. Something else I wanted to talk about was grace. By the grace of God, we are saved because He gave His Son to save us from our sins. So shouldn't we kind of give others grace? And, you know, we have some. Hi, Anna Marie. How are you tonight? We have some strong creators that have powerful message, powerful voice, powerful beliefs, and strong convictions. And sometimes To some, it may seem like they are coming across overbearing, but they're not trying to do that. It's just that they're that passionate about what they're talking about. So try to listen to what they're saying and see what the message is, because that's how we've all learned over all this time that I've been on YouTube. I have learned so much from so many channels, so many skills that we'll be using, so many skills that are showing me how to bring my local community together. The um, you know, well, no, not how to do it, but the end result. Watching Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, when they showed where they went out to their community and there were canopies set up and each person was showing what they had and what to do with it. Those are that's my goal. That's what I picture in my local community, is bringing us together doing that. And the feedback I'm getting is amazing. it it just surprised me, and it just took me putting this little two questions on Facebook. Um, there's ways that you can reach out to people and get to know them in your communities. We talked about that yesterday. But main thing is when you're listening to people, when you're dealing with people, you've got to be able to forgive some things. You just have to, I don't know, discernment, is that where that comes in? Is I just I hate to see the division. I hate to see the fighting. And thank you, Deanna. How are you this evening? Any of y'all want to come up and talk about this? Black Watch, it's good to see you. Um, I'm not playing favorites, but I would like for the strong women to come up and talk about these things. Yeah, I'm not being, what do you call it? Is it sexist? I don't know. Um, it's more, uh, men and women are totally different, obviously, in every way. And men see things different than women do. Men talk different than women do. But I'm telling you, men, what would you do without women? For one, you wouldn't be here because it took a woman to have you. Men kind of have the idea that women are just supposed to be loving, caring, open armed, no matter what you do, people. And that's not quite true. um, being raised around brothers and um, you hear a lot of talk that probably isn't real appropriate. John Denning, good to see you, sir. Yes, Red, men are from Mars, women are for Venus. Um, Jen, I don't know what you're talking about, but I haven't noticed you on a power trip. So if any of you men want to come up and give your point of view too, that's fine. Yes, Cindy, uh, it was three brothers. And so my oldest daughter, was absolutely spoiled rotten because she grew up with three brothers and I knew the feeling. And so I defended her a lot. But let me tell you, she must have caught on to that really quick because she could let out this blood-curdling scream even in the nursery at the hospital. The nurses came in there and I said, please tell me that's not my baby girl screaming like that. And they said, yes, it is. It was ear piercing. And I said, oh, I have to take her home. And it was like, so she knew how to use that to her advantage. She would scream like that, and I'd go in there, and she'd be sitting there with the boys. And I thought, all right, y'all are all in trouble. What'd y'all do to her? Instantly thinking they had done something, they got in trouble. And then, come to find out, one day I decided to peek in and see what was happening, and those boys weren't doing anything to her. She would just sit there and just start screaming till she got what she wanted or until she got them in trouble. So that was pretty deceitful, I think. Eric, it's okay, I know. But, and I said that once before. You know, okay, where are the men? I'm asking that now. Where are the men? The men that were the protectors, the men that were the ones who would stand up for anything, the men that the home meant something to them, their family meant something to them. They were they were ready to do anything to protect that family, their wife, their children, their home. But they also, I don't know, is it a, I don't know where it went. The respect for women. Remember when men used to stand when a woman entered the room or came to the table, helped her with her chair? Is it chivalry or manners or values? I don't know what it would be called, but um, I sure don't see that anymore. Um, Even here with, we have some pretty good people here, but at the same time, you can be walking into a store and those glass doors, they kind of shut themselves. And so you're fixing to walk in behind this man, and he just goes in, and that door just shuts right in your face. And you're thinking, wow, that's what? And but at the same time, me and my daughters, if anyone's fixing to walk in the door, if we're in front of them, we'll hold it open for them first. Hello, John.
Hello, Bonnie.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
So,
Um,
what do you have to say? Since I'm sitting here going off on men,
am I getting a feedback, Bonnie?
I don't think so. Are you? Are y'all hearing it okay? Hey, Louise, good to see you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to stay too long, Bonnie. I just, you know, a lot of what we're dealing with today is instigated. You know,
Yes,
I mean, and it's been over time. They took the Ten Commandments out of school. Um, they don't want the parents to spank the children. And there's a difference between spanking and beating.
yes,
Um, Society has tried to influence the life and the total structure of the family and even what it is to be a man and a woman.
that's true.
And a
When
lot
we
of,
had to have two incomes in the home, that hurt a lot because then the children weren't getting what they were supposed to get from their mothers.
like they say, life's an experience. And, I think everybody now is starting to realize we've left so much in the hands of other people um, that should not have made decisions they are making, you know, as a people, as, each and every one of us. Um, we've allowed this. We've allowed it to happen,
Yes,
and now we're here and we're trying to figure this out. But you know, just like um, between the family life and um, even through time, we in some ways we've gotten better, but we've actually gotten worse at the same time
yep,
because it's like you were saying, where's the men? Well, the men's been beat up by the women.
yes,
It's like instead of being the man, and not only the women, I can't say that, it's society itself. It's like um, the man used to be able to be proud because he provides for the family, um, but
yes,
but the economy has taken that away from the man. It took his sense of pride away to where he can't now support the family, and the woman he loves has to go get a job and can't be with the children and help, raise these children with a mother and a father at the home.
absolutely. And yeah, and like Gina said, we went along with it.
We went along with it,
Yep,
and it was actually, like I said, instigated. You know, there's countries, and not only countries, but groups of people who want to destroy America. And not only America, they want control of this world. And they'll do anything. They'll stoop to no level to do it. Stalin once said, I'll take down America without ever firing a shot.
yep,
And this is how they do it. There's several books and stuff where if you control the literature of the people, you control their minds. If you control the banking of the people, you control the world. If you control the news and the sources of current events, you can hide it all. And this is what they've done. You know, these
Yes.
people are so power hungry and money hungry, and we don't matter to them.
No, we don't. But that's why we need to become better than them.
I think that's what we're waking up to. I think that is the Great Awakening.
Yes. Last pup, you're fine. I understand. Louise was in here. Oh, there's Black Watch.
Well, Black White,
Hi, John. How you doing?
I'm not pushing up Daisy, so it's a blessed day.
How are you, Black Watch?
Mm, recent events, you know me. Patrick seemed to think I always have something to say, but I don't know. I'm very dismayed with what's going on. You know, you talk about the world. Can't even manage YouTube, can we? Really? Can't even manage what's around us anymore, in my opinion. You know, but that could be controversial, and I don't really want to get into it. You know,
I understand what you're saying, and I have brought that up. We're a community here also, and so that's why I've been talking to some of the ladies about joining up together, um, getting getting more getting more done. I think is what I'm trying to say. Um, through the Word of God, through communicating, through um, bringing people together, more just trying to straighten this all out a little. Just this one little spot. And I know I'm just this one little speck in all of this thing, but it's the speck's still sitting here for now.
well, I just want to say one real quick so it's clear. You may or may not know what's happened recently. I've had this ID for years. I've got 28 wrenches. I had other ones, like I told you, the YouTube corrupted. You know, I had to create one after another. I had wrenches there. A recent event, you know, I'll take anything I just showed because that's like, and it's fun. Like I told you, there's a recent event that took place about a mod and what was done. I've never seen that. Never. It's not funny to me. You lose wrenches. You can be banned, barred, or even sometimes less than that. If people out there understand what happened. I could not believe it, and how it could be almost condoned, ignored, and condoned, and I feel judged. So be it. Because you talk about family bonding. My father taught me that you depend it to no end. You know,
Yes.
as far as what the men do, but this recent thing is just beyond me. I don't understand it. And I think you know the issue that, we talked about. And the preponderance of evidence of what's taken place, it's like a slap in the face. Like, man, people still ignore it. I can't. You talk about men and things and their position with the family. That's a point of honor. It's a point of respect. And, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm old school. But when you have friends, you defend them.
Yes.
unless they turn and they say to you, "Leave me alone," and then you say to them, "I cannot be your friend because I value that." I don't understand it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, and I know what you mean. And have you lost your wrench here?
You know,
Have
but
you have you lost your wrench here, Blackwatch?
I've never asked for one. Never. It doesn't matter to me. It's. I've had one channel, and it was YouTube. He was posting something. It wasn't between the creator and I. It was YouTube's kind of screwy way of handling things. But I said to the gentleman, this is a point of trust. To some degree. I think there should be one above. I know it can be done. Now it's done. Somebody, if you want them to post, you get a wrench, say. Then when you want somebody to be a cop, it goes above it. But I've never asked,
Yeah.
and I never thought till recently, very recently, that I never needed a wrench to defend myself. Apparently, I don't know if you know what happened, but it's beyond me. And I'm sorry, I'll say it and finish it because you talk about honor, about what men are. Um, there's egos, and
Yes,
I
there's a
can't,
lot of
I can't do it. And if nobody sees what I see, because on that point I talked to you about, I thought to myself, am I jealous? Am I doing something wrong? Am I looking at it? And I examined it. I came back and no, it's the elephant in the room. And I can't do that. I'd have to go away. You know, it all feeds into what you say a man is. You defended a family to the end, to all of it, until they don't merit defense, if you will, within friendship. I don't,
yes.
it baffles me. It challenges my logic, my balance in life, and I'm not like, a kid anymore. And so when you talk about the world, we can't even handle it here. We
And
can't.
I understand. I understand that. And that's when we need to turn to God. That's when we need to give it to Him. And I mean, we can't expect. Okay, we have made a mess of this.
Yeah,
We really have, all
we,
of us.
yeah.
And so, um, I mean, yeah, it's probably kind of wrong to ask Him to fix it, but as long as we know that He's here with us while we're trying and maybe given some guidance, that's where we're going to get through this and on the path that He wants us to be on,
Well, I mean,
possibly.
we kind of went over that too. Maybe there is something to that in balance, but I was a teenager when Helen Reddy came in and said, "I'm woman, hear me roar," and I thought, "What are you roaring about?" Because you're already my equal as a teenager. What are you going on about? Like it's a given. It's a given. But they had their place in the workplace, and it was not equal. But in my mind, what are you going on about?
Hey,
You're my
Roxanne,
equal.
good to see you.
I wish I
Are
could
you
tell you
almost
that.
Yeah,
done
good to
on your rant here, Blackwatch? Are you almost done on your rant? I'm just wondering.
Listen, Deanna, one of these days I'm going to take you to dinner. I really am.
What?
One of
What?
these days I'm going to take you out to dinner. I really am.
Are you? I like
Yes.
lobster tail, especially. My favorite. So the YouTube people are getting to you. Am I echoing?
I had that same thing when I came on. D.
Is it gone? Is it still there?
Mine went away.
I'm
Uh,
gonna whisper.
know.
I'm gonna whisper. Please don't be there, Echo. because I wanted to say what John Dunning was saying is so right, and a lot of people don't get it. We've let this happen. People
Yes.
still want to blame the city council people, and they want, and it really doesn't take much, does it, Bonnie? Because what we've talked about with just a couple of your ideas, you already seen how frightening it can be just to put an ad in the paper. And then you've set something, well, not the paper, excuse me, the digital, whatever, wherever you did it, Facebook or Craigslist, right? And you set something into motion, and it doesn't really actually take much. People are looking for something, and I don't know why they don't realize the Constitution is what we're looking for, right? And you can't avoid God with that. So that's great because we can't afford to avoid God in this country anymore. We're living in a godless culture 100% right now. And it's because Christians are not standing up. They're letting these satanic people, I mean, you heard about the stories when they were riding by the churches in Auschwitz and stuff, and those times, and they would sing louder because they didn't want to hear the people riding by screaming and stuff, right? You've heard that, right, John?
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's
You
what it
know,
feels like sometimes,
but
with all of
too,
this confusion. Yeah.
something I'm seeing too, you know, in this country, we've got 36,000 laws and regulations. And a lot of people think we need another law. It's like we don't need laws. We need to become people again. We need to be humans again. You know,
Yes.
the laws, they're not even enforcing the laws we have, and that's like,
It's our job. It's our
yeah,
job.
and that's
Yeah,
like we've got a beautiful constitution.
we really do.
Criminals do not go by laws. They do not go by the Constitution. It's up to us as a people.
That's it. Because if we don't stand up and expose the judges by showing up in court, by showing, and people would rather pay that. Look, the government, we all know at this point, is the enemy. They are the foreign operative against us, the people. Their whole court systems, their public health, their schools, all their bullshit is against us. Sorry. But none of it is for us. None of it is for us. And as far as I'm concerned, these people in my town that don't even have a bond, they're damn crisis actors. Okay? 100%. So when some people say we allow this to happen, some of us see the level of just atrocity that we're allowing. If you're allowing media and Hollywood and liars to sit in our seats, because we're not there, right?
Right.
They're
Exactly.
they're posers.
And that's just it. Um, there are no laws anymore, not against the criminals. They're just letting them all out now. It didn't matter their crimes. They're just releasing them into the world for
Everywhere,
us to deal with again. See, what are they going
everywhere.
to do this time? And but who are the laws against? The law-abiding citizens. That's the way it feels or seems.
Thank you, Red.
And two, that's just like we as a people, like even in this chat room, we're saying they, them,
Hi.
um, left, right, Democrat, Republican. We're using all these labels that
Yeah,
we're putting on each other. You know, let's
yeah.
take these labels off. I'm me. I
I'm
am
meat.
me, and you are you. You
You
know,
were you.
you are you. I'm me. And now, okay, I'm a free thinker. I'm a free spirited individual. That's all, every one of us. We're all the same way, you
Amen.
know? And so long as we keep saying they, and we don't ever make an effort to try to bridge that gap between us, because we're all human beings, no matter
Mhm.
um, what you want to think, we need to come together. And, the left is seeing the same thing we are, but they have a different perspective, you know? Some of what
Okay,
they
can I? Okay, can I bring up one thing about that? Hi, Dorinda.
Hello.
I do.
Did you guys see Marjorie Taylor Greene trip that lady today? Because I was watching the left and the right with that one, and that was funny.
right.
Oh,
And I
I
think
didn't
that
see that.
I think just like what we're discussing and everything else, I think at some point in time, whether you got the label of left or right or Democrat or Republican or whatever label you stuck on yourself or stuck on someone else, at some point in time, I think we're going to start taking these labels off and say, hey, look, we're all on this earth together. We're all human beings. Yes, we have our differences. Yes, and people have different viewpoints and different um, ways of thinking about things. But people have been indoctrinated to think the way we are. You know.
You
So
should.
when
Let a lot happen. Hey,
so when
Dorinda.
you look at somebody and you say that's a lefty or that's a Democrat, that's a human being that's been indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other, well, up here we have liberals and conservatives and they're very strong minded, but listen to what he's saying. I've heard things where, the drunk driving and this has happened and that's happened. Was it Republican or Democrat? What does it matter?
Right.
No,
It,
It does.
there's
it
there's
blows
no
my mind.
there's no
Yeah.
party lines. There should be no party lines. There should be no um there you go, no labels. There should be no colors. I
No,
read an article today and it made me furious. And it was put out by CNN. And if I knew how to get a hold of the person that wrote that article, I would go off
Yeah.
because it was clearly, um, I'm not going to go into total detail, but there was a case in Houston, 2014, and um, this person had possession of a lot of drugs and was convicted of possession and intent to sell. Well, for whatever reason, the court decided not to do something. I can't remember what the details were. Now they've decided to go back and say, yes, this was against the law, da 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 da. But in writing this article, they said this criminal was black and they put it in capital letters. It might have even been in a different color in the write up. It was like out there bold. And then the officer was white, capital letters, bold. That's
Mm.
what that's how they are doing this. They are just putting it in our face to
Race
try and
baiting.
cause the
Mhm.
divide.
That's race baiting.
Yes,
Exactly.
100% is what that
yes.
is. Yeah.
makes you wonder how the press can actually blatantly incite something and get away with it.
I don't wonder. They're not the
And
press.
that's
They're a bunch of liars. They're crisis
but
actors.
that's just it. They are getting away with it. And how do we stop it? We've got
I
to
don't wonder
speak
why. I
up.
don't wonder why. What do you wonder why? What has our community been able to do to stop it? Nothing. What has this YouTube community been able to do to stop it
Hi,
in their
Guardian.
communities? Some people may, but it's a pretty it's a strong force, and we're just trying to get our bearings and figure out how to stop it. Just talking about it's good. It seems like we talk about it a lot, Dorinda hasn't got to say a word. She's been here a while. Hi, honey.
That's fine.
Hi, Dorinda.
Hello. I just want to say hello to Rocksteady and kiss off.
I
I
guess.
beg your pardon. Same to you, lady.
No, there's a person in chat
What?
with the name Kiss Off.
Oh,
Calm
okay.
down, Blackwatch.
That one.
Mom,
Okay.
If I
now,
was telling you to kiss off, I'd say black off, kiss off. I
just
wouldn't
say,
say.
we just say we need things to be calm right now. Okay, we
We
Yes.
just
Canadians, my goodness.
that's all. He is calm. He's calm. It's just himself.
So,
I
but
think, I
I'm
think
sorry.
too. Go
Go
ahead.
But that's the thing was we need to say something. We need to point it out. We need to. How can you let this happen? Or even get people to see the same thing, the same. We're all on the same page.
They see it, they don't care. These kind of shows, when you're talking about going after city council and even the state assembly shows, they're not the most popular channels. Okay. I know it always gets seen as such criticism, but not to criticize the fellowship shows, but those shows will get thousands of views all day long. We sit here and talk about the Constitution all day long. We're not going to get those kind of views because we're doing work.
Yes,
People don't want to work. They want to sit around and bullshit all day. And if they knew what they could do, if they knew that just writing this email to this person or writing a bad review or, if they had a blueprint that was laid out, maybe they might do something. I've got 55 blueprints. I'm scratching the surface on all of them. And it's like, people are just like, they're so overwhelmed. They can't even deal with it.
because we're being stripped of everything. How many? How much food do we have left? How much? What's going to happen? You know, how are we going to live? That's pretty much. It's when I came into this, it was to see how to live without electricity because for the first time we were without electricity and we didn't know what to do. And that's thankfully because of all these YouTube channels, I've learned how to do that now. But at that
Yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm.
we had deaths. People were going into their garages and starting their cars. Yes, they should have known better than that. That's instant suicide, but that's what they were doing to just try to get warm.
Yeah, I do have to smile. Like there's a lot of prepping channels, and they're very dear people. But do you remember what happened in 2003 on the Eastern Seaboard? And yet the same person said, "I got 3 freezers, I got this, and they're just jammed full of food." And I thought, how if the power goes out again? If it theoretically cannot, what are you going to do with all that food? Get out the barbecue, you know? We do. Point is, we do rely on it, Bonnie. We'll never get away from it. We do rely on modern, refrigeration and
But
I.
that's just it. I mean, even the internet, look what we're able to do. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be used for good also to bring us together to have these discussions to try and figure out or even if we can't figure it out to be there for each other, to glorify God with each other, to come together as a group with a
I think
common goal.
I think we're at an awesome time. You know, look at the technology, like what we have here.
You got 4 minutes. Stop.
The tools we have available to us right now. You know, um, in the history of mankind, we've never been in this position that we are right now, to where we can sit here and we can discuss things, and as long as we can discuss and not break into an argument, a fight, we can do some good, because we all want to know, what can we do? What's the answers? That's what we're looking for. But at the same time, it took thousands of years for us to get to where we are right now. And a lot of us want to wake up tomorrow and have everything peachy dory. You know, it's
Like
a
this.
process. This is a process we're in right now. You know, we need to do just as we're doing, discuss these things, put it out there, share it with other people and friends, and try to bridge that gap where we're not saying them and us, to where we can say, my brother over here, he doesn't see things quite as the same as I do. Um, and with a little effort, a little bit, um, you know, um, you can talk to, and maybe they won't come completely onto your side, or you go completely onto their side, but you can work something out. You know, this was
Unless
supposed to
they're
have
an
been the whole.
obstructionist. If they're an
This is
obstructionist and they mean to do you harm, you have to know.
right,
You have to know. That is a problem too. But not
right,
everybody is. So we don't want to look at everybody like they're the wolf in sheep's clothing. But man, I'll tell you what, the infiltration tactic goes way, way, way back.
right.
It
And
goes
two,
way
like what you just mentioned, not everybody's evil. They're ignorant. You know, just like we were, just like we are, really. I'm learning so much, you know, to where a lot of things I felt, 5 years ago, now I'm like, wow, you know, I have learned so much that my whole view of things has changed. And a lot of people, just like I reflect back to when I was working and everything, to where, I was working as many hours as I could to try to get as much money as I could to put a roof over my head and food on the table, and working on the cars and working on the house and taking the kids to ball games and these things like that. You know, I never thought of this stuff. And I was talking to somebody the other day and I mentioned something. They go, well, why would I even want to think about that? You know, and this is the biggest thing I think we're dealing with, is not satanic stuff, but just ignorance. We need to be the educators that we've never had. You know,
Well, it is satanic in my town. I mean, masking the kids and coercing
well,
them to take
yeah,
those injections and continuing to test them with the NWO. Those people are the enemy. Those
right,
people
right.
are the called out enemy. We
Those
have to
people,
call out
yes,
the enemy.
those
And
people, yes. But your average neighbor, you know, these are the people,
mm,
because we need to become a people. You know,
I get that. I do.
That's
But I
true.
think when you come together, you have to realize that there's so much opposition spiritually, physically, and just in the government in general. It's a big force to reckon with. I just,
It is, but at the same time, taking that first step, going out and shaking hands with the neighbor you don't know, see what happens.
I'm not paranoid, Kim. What I am is after a year and a half, and it's the same 12 people, and we're watching these other few people, 5 people on this council, 5 people on that board, just run the whole town in the ground, not care about anything we say. Um, you know, after a while, it's really hard. All the cliches, all the sayings, it all sounds like bullshit to me. Excuse me, but it does, because these people are evil and they're doing evil things to our kids. Our kids are dying. Our kids are being coerced. They'll never be the same. They're I don't know what to say. I cannot believe sometimes how it's just like not a big deal.
It
It's
is,
just
to be
not a big
honest.
enough
I
deal.
understand what you're
It's not a big
saying.
enough deal. It's not a big enough deal yet at this point. I don't know
Yes, it
what
is.
else to say.
Somebody's got something coming back, but something's reverberating.
You,
I
Black Watch.
I
I
keep seeing
changed.
your wall
I
doing
changed.
that.
I changed the ear. I said change all the settings there. I don't know what to do.
I don't either, hon.
I don't hear anything. Is it me?
But Deanna, I personally uh, went through one of those things that you're talking about. Um, it is going to be taken care of legally because it was against the law what was done towards us. And so I think that more people may be doing things that they're not speaking of because um, those are the personal things. You know, does that make sense?
No, because I don't know what you're talking about. The jab or a test or
No,
what do
it,
you mean?
it didn't have anything to do with that, but it has to do with what you were saying about the children. Um, it's one of the many facets that happen to the children that we've spoken of, and um, not quite sure that the children should have to be made to wear masks. I don't agree with that. Or the jab.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a in that in okay. So if we go back to the Constitution, is pretty much giving each person a choice of how
Yes.
to live
Yes.
their human life, and
Yes.
so I think that's where the disagreement comes
No, I
through
disagree.
the two sides is what what okay, they should not have any control. No one should have any control over how you're going to live your life. Your God-given right to live your life. What is it? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the Bill of Rights. Um, it's but there's a lot of overstepping and forcing people to do things that they would rather not do. And that is where there needs to be a line.
Can I just touch on that one point before you go to
No,
the
Dorinda's had her finger up for 3 minutes.
up?
Let
Where?
Black Watch say his piece. I'll wait.
Why?
No, I'm just
It's
I'm
your
just going to
turn.
throw it in. I
I
had a.
said no. I said no.
Tough.
You
I
told me no.
Yes.
First time I met you, you said no. So I'm sorry. It's my turn
And
to
I
say
will always say no.
She
it.
said, "Oh, girl."
I don't care if you're south side of Chicago. You don't intimidate. You don't. No, but on that
I
point,
love you, Black
Bonnie,
Watch. You know I love you, honey.
about AV and Roe and everything, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But so many would like to change that to life, liberty, and the pursuit of society's happiness over yours. That's all I'm going to say.
Really? That's it? Okay. Dorinda, go, because I got something.
I just wanted to say hello to Shane and Hawk. I saw them in chat a little while ago. I just wanted to say
Right.
hello.
Thank you. I'm sure there's several coming in that I have missed. Just I see discernment and
Yeah, discernment
Hi,
too. Sorry,
discernment.
discernment.
We love you. Okay, one point I just want to point out is that people that are the proper way to wear masks in a fully biological and scientific way is if somebody is sick, then when they go out in public, they're trying to protect the public, then that's the time to wear a mask or if they're in surgery and they're a surgeon. Okay. The problem that I have with people wearing masks, even though I don't give adults a hard time, okay, when I see a kid wearing one and the adult's not, I get really cringy inside. And I've been known to yell out the window one time. Okay. But other than that, I've kept my cool because they don't facts matter when it's all been censored. That's my problem. Okay. They're not wearing the masks properly. They're not wearing the masks in the correct way because they're wearing them thinking deceivedly that they are helping them stay healthy when in fact they are deceived and they look they sh- they are showing that they're deceived, not thinking ill of them or like, oh, what a dumb, whatever. I'm thinking this is so sad because they don't know this is not going to keep them healthier. Okay, that's the problem I have. I feel like facts matter. I've been censored to the super greatest degree in my community. My whole community has been lied to with a wet blanket. Hi, Guardian. You know this.
Hello,
That's part of my problem. They're all lied to.
hello, Guardian.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, D-Dog.
But Deanna, do you realize what you're touching on? The difference between ignorance and stupidity. Stupidity isn't going away anytime soon. You can't teach to stupidity.
I don't know the difference with that one, so it doesn't matter to me. They look stupid and so it doesn't matter. I can't help it. That's
But
how
that,
they look. But I love them. And Jesus loves them too.
but
So
that
I
goes
pray for them.
that goes all toward the ignorance, you know. I mean, had they done things differently, had they come out here and give us the information, the truth of the information, and let us make a logical decision ourselves
For ourselves.
instead
Exactly.
of saying you do this, and then it's like then everybody starts asking questions. Well, why are we doing this? And
Yes.
then now we're starting to, some people figuring out, and some people really just don't give a shit. It's like, oh
Yes.
well, they're telling me to do that, I'll wear it. Um, and this is what we're dealing with. It's just, we need to be educated in different all areas, really, in politics, our finances, our spiritual selves, everything, because we
Well,
just been. It's kind of like time has stopped. We stopped learning, and people stopped. Even my school, when I went to school, and they did teach me life um, experiences. They taught us stuff that you know even right now we're seeing how our history is even has been created one-sided. When you look at J6 and you look at the trials and stuff, like they're only showing one side of it. They're not showing it all.
No.
And say 50 years from now, when people look back, they're going to say, okay, this is what happened on J6. And it's like everybody who was here is going to say that, yes, there was a lot more to it going on than what they're saying is. And
Yes.
this is this is our history, because when you get into history, you start seeing this. It's like the Civil War, there was a lot of stuff going on.
May I ask a question and then give a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the question is, why are we all of a sudden blaming ourselves for what has happened? That to me seems like we are playing right into their games even further. The comment is, we have been under suppression by an evil, corrupt government system from DC right on down to everybody in state level that has worked, schemed, planned, and done everything that they had been doing to us for years that we had no clue about, were not given any information on, But yet we're sitting here now blaming ourselves for what has happened and what's taken place.
Can I
I'm
answer
old
that?
enough and I'm old
No.
enough and am old enough to be a
Yeah.
grandmother. I remember when my child was growing up, Children's Family Services, or whatever it's called where you happen to be, um, had already changed their rules and laws and what have you to where you couldn't spank your child anymore and whatnot.
Yes.
So you had parents my age at the time that was already losing the right to be able to correct your child, which it didn't stop me because I told my child I might go to jail for spanking your butt, but if you do something that I tell you not to do and I give you a reason why you're not to do it, I'll go to jail. And when I get out, I'll spank your behind again.
I believe her too.
Okay? I mean, that's the way it was.
That's what I told my kids. Well, I told them it would take them 45 minutes to get here, and they'd have a reason to take them when they got here.
That's right.
And they never made that call
But the
because
thing
the
about it is, when
school,
all of that came into place, the parents at that point in time, because you couldn't correct your kids, the kids started going wild because a lot of parents just played along with the game,
but the
went
school
along with the
was teaching
program.
the kids to make that call.
That's right.
I highlighted the phone number in the phone book. Said, here's the number to call. By the time they get there, your ass is going to be.
Yep.
That's about what my mama did too. Go ahead, call them.
So at any rate, the parents, our generation now, has basically had to work 2 and 3 jobs after our kids were grown even to now try to continue teaching them what they should have been taught as a child. But we were too busy to be able to do that because of what the system did to us. And I know we're all frustrated, we're all aggravated to this part and wish there was some magic wand that we could wave and make all of this go away.
Paycheck.
Because now we've seen the truth and the results of it.
Right.
And
Hello,
so
Chuck. Sorry, Bonnie.
it's generations. If anyone was to put blame, it would be several generations back. It's not just us. What do they call us? The boomers. It's this has been going on for generations.
Yes.
And it's been so slow and so um
Very subtle.
Methodical.
yes,
Yes.
like they put
Systematic.
every
Yep.
detail into where now it's like snowballing information coming out about all this, and we're like, what?
Well,
Fighting
that's
about it
because
all.
it's like all of a sudden we got hit upside the head with a sledgehammer
Yes,
Yeah.
when this information started coming out, and everybody's sitting back in shock at that point, going, "What the heck?"
yes,
It's not something that was done to us in a week, a month, a year, even. It's been a steady, ongoing thing, like you said, for generations.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be able to come up with any kind of a plan that's going to turn all this around in a short span of time.
No.
And there is so much division among everybody right now, between the races, between groups. I mean, you've all seen it. If you go in more than 2 chat rooms, you've seen it.
yes, ma'am.
The division is there, the infighting is there. So if we cannot come together among 3 or 4 chat rooms that we go into on a regular basis without all the infighting and what have you, how in the world do you expect a whole community, a whole state, or anything else to come together to be able to accomplish and do anything. And then you got to stop and think of the other side, the enemy that we're looking at and that we're having to battle and try to fight against. You have to understand, they've got technology that we don't know anything about because that's been kept a secret also. We know they have sound weapons. We know they have frequency weapons.
Yes.
So even if we try to get up a large number of people and go at them, who's to say what else they've got that we don't know about that they can hit us with and wipe us out by the thousands at one shot? We don't know. So it's either going to take a lot of people in prayer, get a direct answer from God how to do this,
Yes.
and just pray that God will take all of the evil out and get rid of them altogether to where we can start over from scratch or something. I don't know what the answer is. I don't have the answer.
None of us do, Guardian.
I have
But
two
I'm
answers.
tired.
I have two answers.
I'm tired at this
But it's
point.
Blackwatch's turn. Damn it.
We know what's being done, but all of a sudden we're all accepting the blame for it. It's all our fault. No, quit playing into that. If we had known about it, if our so-called government had been honest with us from the beginning and said, hey, look, listen, guys, we got this in the plans and we want to try this and what have you, and they gave us an opportunity to say yay or nay, then you
To
know what?
vote.
We would have had an opportunity to maybe stop some of this. But
Yes.
we weren't allowed to be part of that process. So none of this is our fault.
Oh, no, no, no.
They make these decisions in the people's house, but the people did not get a vote on the things that were being pushed through.
Right. But even the people that we voted for, and we now know the election process is not right either. So not everybody got the person in that they voted for because that's all crooked. But those people that did go in went in on promises that they were there, to stand up for their people. But do you see any of that going on either side? No.
But it's been for generations where you take politics and honesty and they're mutually exclusive wording. One can't exist without the other. And I'm not promoting it, and that's just a fact. That's a fact. And the ones that would stand to you are crushed by the party by the time they start to get halfway through it. That's just the way it is. You don't accept that, but you have to realize it in order to try to correct it. And
And you know what? And to that, I would say, if God decides to answer prayers and remove evil and get it out of our existence to where we have a chance as humanity to start over, to where we get to make the rules and the laws, then if we decide to, at that point, to continue to have a government per se, which personally I don't think we need it, each state should be able to make up laws as to how they want their state to run or whatever, and you abide by them or you don't. You go to jail still or whatever the case may be.
you can't do that.
Yes, they can in the States.
No,
They can.
we are federalized, whether we like it or not. Because
That's the system now.
but you're going to get infighting, don't you think, Guardian, between the states? If we had it here between the provinces, there's got to be a medium in here.
Well, you know what? That's where people need to come together as human beings and learn how to get along.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple thing. You've got the 7 deadly sins, and then you got the 7 virtues. People simply need to decide which one of those sets they want to live by. If they decide the virtues, they're going to be able to get along with their neighbor. They're going to be able to get along with the person across the line in the next state.
But if the change has got to come from the citizens, and you can argue that, the population, they can't sit back and go, I'm a victim. forever because it'll just promote the same thing. You got to stand at some point and say, okay, we've been victimized. Now we're going to make a change. All through history, there was victims, and they still go on and they promote it. We're victims, Well, then do something about it so it doesn't happen again.
Hello,
Well,
Fighting
I
Kino.
don't consider myself a victim anymore of anything, no matter what it is. I will not be a victim. I will not play a victim. No,
But
not going to happen.
then kudos to you. If you realize that, kudos
Can
to
I
you.
say something? Can I say something? I think that Guardian, when you're talking about us blaming ourselves, when we're talking about federal issues like the president, stuff like that, that's different than when I'm talking about my Humboldt County and my 5 city council members and my 5 board of supervisors. And when I look into the constitutional remedy and discover, well, they're supposed to have a bond and they actually don't. So what does that mean? It means they're frauds. It means they're posers. And it's our job to kick their asses out. That's what I'm saying, because I think there actually is 2 governments, and one of them is one that has control of all of the media and all of this government, and the other one is the assemblies, and they're the ones that are actually making stuff happen with the affidavits and the notices and the decertifications and all that kind of stuff. That's the we the people. They're at the we the people is actually very much engaged. That's what I'm saying. So I know they're different though. I'm not blaming myself for what happened with the presidencies, okay? But in our own communities, I think we can all take a look at ourselves and decide how engaged we've been or not. And we can judge ourselves. I'm not judging anybody for that. I know I was zero engaged. So
Yeah, but you're making it now sound like your government in your state is separate and runs separate and independently of what government in DC
talking
is.
about my
And it's
county.
not.
I'm
It
talking
all
about my
washes down.
county, Guardian. I'm bringing it down even more condensed, okay? I'm talking about my communities, my
Okay.
neighborhoods. And
Okay.
this is what we're talking about tonight, actually, here. It has nothing to do with my whole state. It's too big. The presidency, all that. You're right. We can't do anything about that. You're absolutely right.
But Deanna, at the same time, I use your channel as a stepping stone. What you're doing and what you're fighting is nationwide. It's just you're in the fight right there in your county. But at the same time, it applies to the whole nation as to what's going on.
And the
Does
state.
that make sense?
It does, yeah. But it doesn't affect
Yes.
the state. She's
And
right.
you've also got
I'm
to
not
keep
going
in
to
mind that
change
a lot of the
Newsom.
laws and stuff and the rules that are set down in DC is what trickles down to the states.
Well, in
So
Sacramento,
DC does have a part in it.
yeah,
Now you're having to deal
Sacramento,
with more local ones and what have you. But
yeah.
it still all comes together and connects together in one form or another.
Well, there's
Consider
you
one
have
point, Cardi.
you
Consider
have
one
more.
point.
So where are you at this point with all the things that you've done? Has it gotten you anywhere?
They are doing. I have signed affidavits that are still getting certified, sent, and the grand juries are in training right now. So I don't know when they're doing the grand jury, but I know that our state assembly in California has a treasurer, and we have a new marshal at arms, and we have a something else. So that's the whole state shaping up, right? But 2 of those people are, well, one's from Humboldt County and one's from Trinity County. The treasurer's from Trinity County, and she just got her land patent. So I have some tentacles in the state assembly. I have some tentacles in the county stuff. And right now, I can't even do any of it for the last month. I'm doing home life. So that's where I'm at.
Nothing wrong with that, hon.
because I'm overwhelmed, and I'm results wise. It motivates other people to see when we go out there. Oh, I did start a website called standuphumble.news, and that's what I've been doing while I've not been streaming. And you can actually find it from standuphumble.com too. It's on there as well. And I think this could be a really great blueprint for other people to do as well. If you want to be able to get your your people's stories out there, we're getting slander. We've been getting slandered from the time we've gone to the first clinic for the kids. And every time we go out there, they just slander us more and more and write trash about us. Hey, Eric. And so that's what I'm doing right now is focusing on having my own, having our voice. And I told Bonnie we could even have a extension. And I told Mama T and Jen, Wisconsin, Ohio, Texas, like whatever the blueprints we come up with, we want to help each other. Bonnie and I want to help each other try to do something for our communities, our tighter knit, just bigger stuff.
But how many people do you have working with you in your area on the project that you've taken on? Or is it just you by yourself?
I've taken on several different projects, and so there's different groups. There's 400 people in our group, but how many are active? 12. Okay, then there's Humboldt Freedom Coalition. They have 200 or 80 people in their group. How many are active? Maybe 20. You know, that's where we're at. It's there's a lot of people in them. But are they doing? You know, we'll get together for our gatherings. And they were on the board of supervisors for a long time. They were all calling in. They were bombarding him. Did it do any good? No. They did anything they wanted to do anyway. So, but do we all wish we didn't do those things? No. We're glad we did them. And we're because we're waking up. We're just waking up. And they're just figuring out, oh my gosh, some counties are engaged. People are not. They don't care. These people are getting away with it because we're not showing up. That's where that kind of ranting gets from people. They're like, they just want people to show up to their city council meeting or board of supervisor. That's the first step. That is the first step. You know, and the schools and the hospitals, everything's a mess still. It's all a mess still until we fix it. No one's coming to save us. Jesus. And I mean, like, he's like, I'll spit you out if you're lukewarm. You kids are dying. Kids are dying. It's actually really serious. I don't understand the lackadaisical attitude sometimes. It's like we are at war here. We get tripped up in stupid stuff. We get hold grudges. We get angry with each other. I've been so beat up by my own people. That's the worst. It's the worst to have someone angry at you. It's on your side. For what? Eric, for what? For what, Eric? I mean, really.
Well, I had to leave and I came back. You guys were talking, about kids and how things have changed in men and women. And I'm more a school of thought that this was all planned, whether it was after World War II or after World War I. This is a socialist agenda that was brought to this country. When you change a child's mind in a school, sooner or later that child grows up and becomes an adult. Okay, trickle down, whatever you want to call it. And you have adults that aren't thinking like the Judeo-Christian values that this country was built on. So they're going to change this, they're going to change that. It all started back then. This is just my opinion. What did Nikita Khrushchev say at the UN? He said, we're going to beat you from the inside out. We're going to divide you and conquer you that way. And that's exactly what's happening.
Do you think that's anything new, Eric? Do you think that concept's new? Look what happened.
Whoa. I never said it was new. I said it could have been after World War I or after World War II. So, just...
Better go back to the Roman Empire.
Well, that's fine, but we didn't have a United States back then. I'm
No, but
talking
then,
about now.
Yeah, Canadian. So shut up, okay?
partly due from
So you've,
economy. That's
you've got,
fine.
Okay, children.
There's
you
just
know,
times when it's not appropriate. Okay, it's not appropriate.
But actually,
you
black
can't expect
I'm just
things
busy.
to turn around like that. It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
People have been the kids that were mind twisted years ago are now adults. So they're going to think that way. They think that way in California. They're going to think that way in every state. So
Excuse me?
you've got to, once you admit where it came from, then you got to start doing what Deanna does.
Yeah.
And again, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 5 years. It's not going to happen in 10 years. But know where it came from and work on it from that, perspective, because, God wants you to get up and fight yourself too. He wants you to stand up for
Yes.
what's right and what's just.
Right.
He wants you to be his warriors on earth. So, you just can't sit around. Don't get me wrong. I pray a lot, but I don't pray, please save my ass. Excuse me, Bonnie, because it's up to the individual to get up and go do something about it.
Exactly. If you're waiting for
It's
Gabriel's
ground.
turn. Sorry.
So, but it all
It starts
started,
ground
in my opinion, in that school, Bonnie. The school system has destroyed this country with their BS.
Yes.
In a lot of countries, they've turned the kids into zombies, sex changes, all of that stuff. I never heard of that back when I was in grade school or high
No.
school.
No.
Well,
It's
so
gross.
But
there
we're
you
all
go.
fighting. We're not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the future, for
Right,
our
and the
children and
future-
grandchildren,
Right.
generations to come.
Who right
And
now are under the same attack in school.
Yes.
it all started back in the Garden of Eden.
Well,
Yeah.
I get
There
that,
you
but I wasn't here to get biblical. I was just talking about just as a
Well, you
you
got to
as
get
a preference.
biblical. You got to
No,
get
I don't.
This country was based on Judeo-Christian
I
principles.
know. I just said that, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is everyone's
So you got to bring the
wondering.
Bible into it. If you
Everyone's
don't believe in
saying,
the
why
Bible, then you
can't we
shouldn't
get
be in
this
here
done?
discussing this country.
My
Why can't
battery's
we get
running
this
low. I'll be
done?
back.
Where'd she go?
My
So that's
battery's
all I'm saying.
running high. I'll be right back.
It's the school system that started it all.
It was
And the
way
little
before
kids
that.
have grown into adults, and they've changed the whole dynamic of the country. As simple as that.
It was way before that.
And so, but we know where to start with. And I have to agree. This is biblical. I mean, you can read in the Bible about these times. It's there. But at the same time, yes, some power that be has created a lot of this too.
Yes. Perfect example. There's division right on this panel. There you
And
go.
you have to keep in mind, we've been attacked from every direction there is.
Absolutely.
Air, land, water, food. I mean, they have hit us with everything. And with all the chemicals and everything else, that's played a large part in how people's minds work, how we think, and everything else. So, I mean, we're fighting an enemy that, for the most part, we didn't see. We didn't see it coming. We didn't know what it was doing to us. We had no clue how it was affecting us in the long term. And now all of a sudden, because certain things are starting to click, we're starting to realize what's been going on. And some of the news tidbits that's been coming out that's kind of awakened us up a little bit and what have you. At least now we have a clue and some idea as to what has been going on. The question is, how do we fight all of these things at one time? We got to get our minds completely cleared, our bodies healthy, to where you can think straight, to where physically you're able to get up and go like you need to,
Right.
and then come up with a plan that's going to work, that's going to remove the evil out of the system to start with.
And the evil is worldwide, not just here.
Right, so it's going to take people worldwide to do this.
Yes.
I'm not talking
And it's
about just
happening.
here.
I'm seeing it happening. I'm
Yep.
seeing groups that, even the American natives, they have a worldwide movement going where they are, just like Cindy said, putting God first. They are coming together as Christians, as believing in Jesus. They're uniting, and they have thousands and thousands of people who are joining this movement. There's people who
Yep.
are doing things that we don't know about. That we see some of it. You see the other countries in the streets. You see what's happening with them. They 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 are feeling every single thing that we're feeling right here.
See, and that's a question. Watching all these other countries and how the people have risen up over there and they're out marching in the streets. Why isn't any of that going on here yet with the number of people in this country?
Because of the threat.
But yet, right.
Because
Because
look where
we
they're
in this country have a little bit clearer idea of what we're going to be going up against.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I don't watch the network news here because I don't trust it. So I get my news other places. But
No, but at the same
this is
time, you've got the rest of the world almost sitting back
right,
waiting to see
right.
what we, the United States, is
But
going to do.
let me ask Blackwatch something.
Mm.
In your country, and again, I don't follow Canada very well. No disrespect, but what exactly are you guys doing or trying to do to straighten out your situation?
Not too much because they're going. Have you listened to Remote lately? What's going on?
I see remote now and then, sure.
It's we're no different than liberals and conservatives just as much as you got the Democrats or Republicans. It's entrenched. It mind altering, brainwashing, whatever you think. When they get together, just like you have your rallies, it's mindless. They're mindless. They're just sheep. Same thing goes on here.
So you're getting no results then?
No, well, I hope it's the old saying, Eric, not who you know, but who you.
Yeah, I know. But
It goes on and
And
on.
you stand up against the government, you go to jail. It's illegal in
that happens
Canada
here too.
right now to speak ill of the government.
Well, it pretty much is here too at this point.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, Mr. Potato Head has made anybody that's conservative well, look at his speech
Yep.
last
Yeah, we're
week.
pretty much already
He looked
considered
like
terrorists.
he looked like Adolf with that CG red back wall on him and those two Marines. I mean, that looked like 1939 to me. It's we get it
Hail
here.
Hitler's speech.
We all sit around and we wonder, what should we do? What should our first step be? Well, even our history, the Constitution, if you're into the Constitution or the Bible or whatever, our first step has to be on a solid ground, on a solid basis, and that you could call it whatever you want, but a good set of morals, that's what we should be based on. This is where we should start. Right now, our country has lost that.
I agree with you. And you know where they lost it? They lost it when they started teaching our kids the wrong way.
It was long before that, Eric.
Well, I know, but the kids that are grown up now are the ones that are basically running the country for the most part, unless you got the 70, 80-year-olds that are filling their back pockets with the CCP's money in Washington, D.C. They're all dirty. I
It
get it.
actually goes into the churches.
Well, that
Yes.
too, sure. The Bank of London, the Vatican. I know. I mean, the biggest money laundering country right now. We all know where that is.
I
Where
think
that war is going on.
I think the basic thing, like my favorite saying is, how can I change this world? I have to start with myself. You know, and I think if everybody looked at it that way, you know, we can overcome this. We won't argue, we don't bicker, we can discuss. You know,
Sure.
but we've got too many people in this country right now who don't even believe in God or morals, or that there is actually a spiritual realm that we do deal with. You
Right.
know, because we was never taught. You know, even I was not taught that. These are things through the years I've had to learn. You know, but I think that's where we need to focus, is try to get our spiritual awareness away, get our be humans again, to be able to discuss and talk, and have get-togethers and fellowship, and you know um,
Well, I agree with you. I do. I genuinely agree with you. But when you're dealing with evil, there comes to a point where it's time not to be nice. And do I want it to go kinetic? Of course not. But this isn't going to go away
well, and
without
two,
a
and two,
real
two
strong.
Eric, we're used to living in this darkness, you know because and the only thing we can do is envision. What if everybody changed? What if everybody would change their minds and their hearts? Then we can see changes. There was a very good person that I heard him say one time that you'll know when society starts to change by the way they talk. That's like I address people as my brother and my sister. You know, I don't say, "Hey, stupid Democrat" or "stupid Republican." You know,
Right.
they're my brother, they're my sister. They think differently because we've all been indoctrinated. Like I said, we grew up in this darkness. You know,
I think the thing that angers people the most right now is it's this current phony, illegitimate administration is so blatant with their bullshit. Sorry, Bonnie. And they're sticking it to you. What's that?
I said I
Oh,
love
I love you too,
my
D.
body.
It's just it gets people. We've had enough
Mm.
now, and if you want to be sneaky and like, and there's dirty Republicans and there's dirty Democrats and there's dirty independents. I'm with you. I get all of that, but it's so in your face now, and what's happened to that southern border is a crime. If I was president, I'd make that whole southern border an army camp full of
It already
Humvee, mechanized vehicles. Ain't nobody coming across there.
the sad
But
the sad part is, for 3 years of my service, I patrolled the border between East and West Germany.
well, there you go.
You know, and it leads me to wonder, why can't our government do that here? You
They're
know,
they're purposely not doing it, John.
right, right.
You know why they're not doing that? Did you realize that? Because a whole bunch of the world, or North America, has money invested south of your border. Money.
Oh yeah,
It's because
that's what I say.
they're foreign enemy occupying DC, and why do you think they take our money and give it to immigrants and give them all the bennies and not us?
They want
It's never
votes.
been more obvious. They are
Votes.
enemies of the people. They are frauds. There are two governments at play.
Yep.
The media doesn't prop up the other governments as much. And
And
And they-
DC is a nation state. So there you go.
And two, we see all this going on. This is negative stuff. We all hate it. But at the same time, we're all human beings, and I know there are good people in the military, good people in our government, good
I
people
believe.
in our police department,
I
good people.
agree.
So if that wasn't there, we would all be really dead by now. You know,
Well,
Yeah.
if it came to that, it would have to be something where the birds are flying back and forth and the booms are going off, because there's too many Americans with too many little friends that go pew pew, and they're not going to just sit down and take it. So, that's just, do I want that? No. But,
you
you
know,
know,
I pray that we can change our mindsets and our hearts, and even the Bible said, God will touch the hearts of our enemies. You know, and these people will change. They'll, and you can even see like certain people saying, um, these people are given a chance to change. You know,
mm,
and we might actually be seeing that right now. I hope we never go to the using the pew pews. I don't think anybody should have blood on their hands. We've
no.
had enough of that throughout history. But
Mhm.
throughout history, we've never had the technology we have now to communicate with each other and try to um, communicate that hey, I believe we can do this different. I don't believe we need to take it to bloodshed.
But
Remember when that guy blew up the abortion clinic because his girlfriend had an abortion? Remember
Mhm.
that in the 80s? That was him letting everyone know how men felt about that, I'm pretty sure. Not that it was a good thing, but
Oh,
sometimes
no.
it wasn't, but it also brought a lot of attention to that issue.
Yeah.
How men
No,
feel about it.
no
Yeah.
violence is good.
It did, but the question still remains: how do you get humanity to care about humanity and come together as a whole, work together, one human being to another or with another, so that we can survive this and keep going until we figure out how we're going to overcome this?
now you got the route to the solution, Guardian.
Well,
Hopefully that.
and that's it, because you've still got all this division going on.
We need to break the division.
Right. How are you going to do that?
You're not going to break it. You
You're
have to
not going to break the
have
division.
grace for people. Let them be wrong sometimes. Let them swear. Let them say the wrong thing. Let them do the wrong thing, but stay the course. Stay the course. We
But
have a
too,
constitution. It's not a mystery. D Dog's been talking about it for a year and a half. I have gone that far. I've taken it to the notary. I've gotten signatures. We've done it. Mama T's done it. Jen's done it. There are very few people that are doing that, but not everyone can do that maybe, but they can do reviews. You can do emails. You can do whatever you can do. Like Bonnie's putting getting community together. Find your community, plug in. That's what everyone really would be wise to be doing right now, because what if they did just unplug us all, and what if the stores all of a sudden there's no more, and then we're just, I mean, I know where to find the quail eggs. They're on the ground. I don't need chickens.
and I think that's a big thing too. We all were discussing things. That's part of it, but doing is another. You know,
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, you've got a whole variety of people. You got elderly people who can't do so much. You've got um, you know people who are physically can't do a whole lot. I think
Yeah, but
that's
notaries travel, and
right.
that's the thing the Democrats do well, is they put their people in place, and that's what, if they move when it's election time, right? That's how they do it. They take over certain areas. I mean, mine just got taken over so hardcore in the last 15 years. It's
Well, okay. There's another
changing.
example, Deanna.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all of the fraud we saw in 2020. I mean, you got to have
Yes.
your head up your butt not to see that. I mean, it's right there. It's on film. So
Right.
if you got an illegitimately elected potato head, how do you think people are going to feel? People are pissed off.
What if that is okay? Everyone's awake now. Everyone's aware that that's happening. So, what if this one that's coming, people are paying more attention? They're
Good night, Brenda.
checking their votes, they're checking everything. Even the people inside working the polls, doing everything to make sure that that does not happen again.
Hasn't there
And
already been
then,
some places that have voted that says the corruption's still there? They've already seen it.
We ought
yes,
to know
Yep.
that,
but
right? We ought to know that for our
so, but
counties.
then, right, but do you think that it's not being checked into? Do you think that it's just being ignored this time? I don't think so. I think
No,
that this is going to be the opening point for that to make everyone aware, okay, this system is not working. Whatever system they're using, it's not working. It's wrong. Something's got to give.
yeah. And those voting machines were the same ones used down in South America, and they turned those elections all around. It's all been planned. Everything's planned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's something as a people we need to do. Come up with a plan, some goals. You know, that's just like we've seen. Event 201 and the Rockefeller agendas. You know, these people have things in place to where this is what we're against. But at the same time, you know, like I said, we're not alone. I believe there are good people in places
I do
that are
too.
helping us. We need to wake up and we need to realize all these things. And I think that's what really we need to do is just wake up and try to help others to wake up to realize and see the truths of this world, you know, and get out.
Bonnie, didn't you? Sorry, John. Thought you were
Go
done.
ahead.
Bonnie, didn't you read me something today about Redding, California, that Shasta County kicked some butt on?
Yes. Um,
Can't remember what it was, but it was good.
I'm looking.
Yeah, it was the county. It sounded like, well, I know
Redding,
they recalled Supervisor Modi. Yeah, go ahead.
Redding, California. Times are grim in the cowboy far north of California. Wildfires rage. C-19 lingers. Drought has stripped most of the show. Snow from Mount Shasta and shrunken Shasta Lake. And then it goes on to say, we've been duped. One resident charged during an epic 6 hour debate in July over the certified results of the June primary election. We need to get rid of all electronics in our voting. Another exhorted during a 2 hour August outcry over rigged equipment. This week, a woman in a We the People t shirt invoked David and Goliath, and a self described citizen journalist said voters were being controlled via nasal swab coated with nanosmart dust in C-19 passports.
Diana.
This is a national movement, said a woman, warning that November's could be hijacked by Wi Fi. We're going to keep coming back till we get what we want.
Yeah.
And then there's more. That is put out by the New York Times, and it's called The California County Where MAGA Took Control.
Okay, I almost forgot this earlier too. I had a point. John Dunning, when he was talking earlier, I don't mean to pick on you, but I do want to pick up on a point about. I'm not saying we go kinetic, but here's my question to you: when your town has proven to be lawless with the police, the sheriff, and then even it doesn't even matter that it was a GOP, but just say a regular, private group gets to hire a security guard and then they get to manhandle women around. I mean, at what point do we care enough to fix it, with the Constitution, with the remedies? We don't have to come up with a new plan. I don't know why I keep hearing people saying we have to come up with. DDOG has the plans. It is the affidavits. It is the notices. That's what lawyers do. We don't need lawyers. The founding fathers didn't set it up, so we have to hire lawyers. We all know that, don't we? We know this.
Yes.
So if I'm getting abused in my county, how in the hell am I going to take on my county, right? Like myself? That's it's crazy to me, and there's not enough people to fight for it. I don't know.
Well, that's you know that's a very. I think that's the question we're all facing. You know, what can I do? Alone I can't do nothing. You know, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. You know, I pray to God.
It's gonna
You know, I believe in God, and I believe God will help us, and He is sending
Amen.
people into certain places. We're trying to take this on as an individual. That's why I say, if we can come together, we need to break these barriers of what's dividing us. And that may take each and every one of us. If we can just work and help other people to see that this is by design.
Absolutely.
There's people who have put this in place. They want the control. They want the money. They want, these are not good people. And we need to tell people this. And this is, where we come in as the individuals. I can't take these people on myself. You can't. But me and you together with other people that we can eventually make this grow. We need a movement.
Well,
We
what
see-
constitutional groups do you trust right now? Which ones do you trust? The assemblies, the state assemblies?
Good.
You know, I don't know who to trust right now,
Where do you put your faith there? Where do you put your faith?
because to me,
it's
Mhm.
in everything and looking through history and different things like that, really mankind's problem started when they started allowing someone else or electing or whether it be through bloodlines or what have you, make decisions for mankind instead of
yes.
letting mankind have their decisions.
But John, I think why people are really, I wouldn't say at the brink, but are kind of like Deanna and me, just fed up with all whatever, is that they're seeing their plan. We're seeing their plan unfold. These are smart people that are doing this. Very smart. We're seeing it unfold in Europe, Asia, here, South America. I mean, this is a worldwide plan. And unfortunately, you only have so much time. You have a cutoff date on whether you can fix it or not. You just can't sit back on your laurels and hope something happens. The deeper the foothold they get, the harder it's going to be to get us out of this mess. And that's where you're finding the anger.
But you're kind of hitting on the answer in your question.
Mm,
You know, you're saying we're seeing. I see it. You see it. Everybody in here, we're all seeing it, and other people are seeing it as well. You know, um, that is a big thing because these people don't like to be seen.
right.
They want to stay in the shadows. They want to stay in the darkness. So just the fact that we're starting to see this, that's a big plus. A
It
lot of,
is.
right now, a lot of people, if you actually look into different things, you see there's hundreds, if not thousands, of CEOs who are stepping down. You know, we're seeing things going on that really we don't really understand. There's a big thing with the Queen when she passed away.
It doesn't help local. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the topic is communities, and it doesn't. I just
Well, but at the
it
same
just
time,
doesn't help
you
us
know,
locally, sweetie. I love you, but it just it's like, how
Yeah,
do we get this
and
back to our communities? This
and
ain't
I
about
would
the. It
right.
ain't about any of that. It's not. That does
it's,
nothing for me here. Where our
I
kids are
agree.
dying. It
And
just
I
seems.
agree too, John, what you're saying that people's eyes are opening and that's great and this and that. But you have to have a course of action. You can see, and I'll call it what it is. It's the enemy. You have to have a course of action that's going to stop the enemy before you are. To me, we're being flanked. It's a flanking maneuver. I'm sure you're well aware of that term. You
But
have so much time to counter that. If you don't, you're done. I don't care who you are. I don't. That's it. And that's my point. We
but
can
at the same
see all of this stuff happening, and I get it. It's great, and people's eyes are opening, and it's great. Look at the World Economic Forum. Look at all the crap that's going on. Look what's going to go on in the UN in the next couple days. Um, we can hope and pray and do all this, but if your ducks aren't in a row and you're not ready to go, their foothold gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's just going to be harder to get out.
Well, the reality is these people that are using the the council people and the board people in my county, they're just pawns
Right.
from the NWO. They're a bunch of posers, and we far outnumber them. That's what drives me crazy. That's what drives me. We can't get the truth out because we're censored. And so this is a great thing that we can talk like this and get this out and make more people.
Absolutely. Well,
It's fantastic.
look
but
at the main.
And community situations is fine. I understand that. But at the same time, all of us are already well aware of what's going on that is affecting everybody as a whole, no matter where you're at. That's gas prices constantly going up higher, food prices constantly going up higher. People's rents are being jacked up on them sky high.
Mhm. And when did that start,
So
Guardian?
people are already getting to the point to where they can't afford to keep driving to work. So how many more people are going to lose their jobs because of this? How many people are we going to lose during the winter time because they can't afford to pay the outrageous electric bills?
Right.
How
And when
many
did
people
all
are
that
we going
start?
to lose simply because they can't afford food anymore or the food situation runs out? And I'll tell you something that really, excuse me, Bonnie, pisses me off. Yeah, I said it.
Oh my God.
I put it out there.
I just broke my crayon on the
I
show notes.
know, right? Where's the board? I need to break it over my knee.
I need to
After
address my
that,
friend. I'm sorry.
we got all these. I'm fixing to probably make a lot of people mad, but I don't care. I'm at that
Don't say
point.
pisses me off again.
No, once was enough, I'm sure.
Okay.
Um,
We all know that there's a lot of prepper groups online. And I have watched some of them and listened to some of them and been in their chats and what have you, which for the most part now I've kind of backed out of all of them because I'm getting sick and disgusted at what I'm seeing and hearing.
Yeah.
I also know some preppers in my personal life that I am seeing the same kind of behavior and thought pattern from. And what I'm
What?
seeing
What'd you
is
say?
I know preppers personally, and I'm seeing they have the same mindset and thought patterns as a lot of them online have.
Okay.
So I
Yes.
know it's not just an online thing, it's something that's spreading all over.
right.
And their
And
Yes.
like,
mindset seems to be I'm going to hoard up everything I can for me and mine, and the heck with everybody else. I've also had some of them tell me that they're going to some of the food pantries where a lot of your senior citizens And those that are on food stamps, but it's still not enough to feed their families with, go to the food pantries.
Hmm.
So these preppers are, have one or two people in the household working. So some of them have more income than what a lot of other people do. We know most senior citizens are on a fixed income, but they're making too much
Yep.
even on that to be able to qualify for food stamps. So a lot of them depend on the food pantries and what have you to have a little bit more food coming in and whatnot that their bills don't cover.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I'm
it
sorry.
disgusts me to hear all of these preppers out there saying, and some of them are showing. They're
Good night,
showing you what
Keystone.
they've got, and they're bragging about it. Well, look at what I've got here. Look at what I've got there, and they've got cabinets full and under their beds and everywhere else.
Good night.
And it's like, where does the humanity come in with that? That's why I'm talking from humanity to humanity, one human being to another. Where's the care and concern, not only for you and yours, but also for others around you in your
We are,
community or whatever you want to title it or call it?
Mm-hmm.
and the ones I've heard have said, make sure you get enough for others
Right.
because we
So,
are supposed to be giving.
right. I did,
So
Cindy Fuller Stevens. I'm sorry, Bonnie. I haven't forgot that there's a plan with the deep state. I'm still there with you, honey. I'm just,
can I read y'all something that came out today from London?
What? Mm-mm.
Who strongly advises against use of 2C treatments,
right.
the 2 jabs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, Germany banned 3 of them the other day.
Yes,
Just totally
it's
stopped them.
coming out.
But
It's
Yeah. Now that the queen is dead, it seems
the
like
lizard.
it's
It's the
all of a
lizard.
sudden it's over.
It's the lizard.
well,
Over. Just like that.
And
but you know who is the most frustrated people that I have
COVID.
seen through all this is
No.
our veterans. Our
Oh,
veterans
Yep.
that went to fight for this country,
Michael
and
Gale's been
this
saying
is
a
what
lot.
they have come back
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yes.
trash.
And I
And
just
we're
want to
sorry.
touch.
I am
I just
sorry.
I just want to touch on the prepper thing. I respect your opinion, Guardian, but prepper friends that I have, and I wouldn't call myself a prepper. I got 50 cans of Chef Boyardee. Does that make me a prepper?
You're
I
a
don't.
pepper. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a pepper. You're a
But,
hoarder.
but
One or the
my
other.
point, no, I'm not, Tiana. But
If
what
that's
I'm
all you got,
saying is
then
the
you're
people
invention.
that are friends with me, they give. They give selflessly all the time. When I have extra food, I go down to St. Vincent de Paul downtown. I don't just drop it off. They know me. I go into the kitchen and hand it to the cook. It's just like if I donate to the local, you know, pets and their people or, animal shelters. I don't give them money. I bring them food because you don't know where that money goes.
right.
Anyway, back to my point.
Well, I didn't say it was all of them. I just said a lot
Well,
of
no,
them.
I understand. But like
I
what
mean, there
Miss
are some
Bonnie,
good people out there in every group, no matter what they are.
right. But like what Miss Bonnie was saying,
That's true.
the people that I know, and I don't know a lot of them, they're always giving and giving, to either this or, I mean, they give, whether they're giving a book away or they're, sending a care package or something like that because they're a tight community, but which actually, quite frankly, we need more of. But, you know, it's, we're in a bind. We're in a big bind. It's
Mm-hmm.
like right now, I'm just waiting for the next kaboom to go off, you know?
And that's
Yeah.
where the communities come in. That's what I'm trying to get together here. Is
Mm-hmm.
find out who has the dairies, who has the meat
Yeah.
processing, who has the I'm growing this. Are you growing this? Can we swap? This is bartering. That's how you get your community doing things together. And it's
Right.
not political, it's not anything, it's survival.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know, Bonnie, on that point, and I dare say it, I've been getting my, shoulder pads on, the shin pads, and everything else for this, and my helmet. But I have to say it, I do. To discuss this, the online community has to get along, right? They have to find common ground. And I witnessed something recently, and it was participants of the army of God, and they played judge, jury, and execution on good people. I had to leave. I had to leave, and how do you deal with that? As we're talking here, and I think most of us know about it. On certain places, people were judged and kind of excommunicated. And how do you do that? You know,
Black Watch, I'm sorry that that happened. It's
and that's rare. I'm not saying it's prolific.
Okay,
yes.
what am I missing, Rob, retired vet?
There's,
And two, we tend to ignore um, God, and two, maybe this is a test, you know, to see and to bring us together. We're trying to figure it out, all these things like that, but we can't understand God, and God has a plan for us, and He's in this as well. I see a lot of things that you could look at it in different ways. You know, that's like that old pipeline that they shut down. You know,
Hmm.
some people are saying, "Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible." Maybe it's not. Because that pipeline would put thousands of truckers out of a job. The barges and the trains. Um, the only person who would really benefit from that is the oligarchs who will sell that oil to the other countries and make a fortune off of it.
yeah, but don't forget, when you have truckers moving fuel, the
Excuse
accident,
me.
it's not efficient by any means, and the safety is lacking. You know,
It's a,
you,
it's all a double-sided sword, you know, because if the pipe broke, then you got a natural disaster there,
but
So
that's rare. I mean, you're dealing with a very volatile
Well,
commodity.
we've got an oligarch in the White House. He's taken our strategic reserves and he sold them to China.
yeah, that's what I
The
said.
same, it's the same thing.
I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying it's a more efficient way of moving that.
And all of this stuff with the people and the prices and the economy, it all started when the illegal takeover.
January 20th.
Yep. Because before that, my 401k was running on nitrous oxide.
Mm-hmm.
Now it went to shit. Sorry, Bonnie.
It
And
did.
that's it. That those are facts. You cannot refute those facts. When they stole it, everyone paid the price.
I mean,
It's
just
been touch and go. It's been touch and go. I mean, if you're looking at the finances throughout history, I mean, '08, 9/11, I have a Boilermaker pension. When 9/11 took place, there, oddly enough, every pension had to invest a certain percentage of the fund. And when 9/11 happened, they took that percentage. And it's like, wow, it put the Boilermakers fund in a hole. Now all the people who are participating in the Boilermakers have to actually pay a lot of money just to get it built back up. And it's never come out of the. I think it goes red, green, or red, orange, green, and it's never gotten out of the orange yet. You know.
but it depends how much you like. Like, I'll give you for instance, financial advisors. I had a friend, GM, and all this, and do you remember that it was '70s or '80s? I had a lot of money into emerging Asian markets. And I said to him, there's an interest-free account. Tell her to get money out. Well, she's my age. I said, no, she's working for you. Get it out. Get out of the emerging Asian markets. Now, he lost 38%. That was worldwide. It had tapped out. Get out of it. So you have to stay in touch with it. You can't blindly go, I got a good financial advisor. You know, you have
Just
to
like
know.
life. Just like life. You got to stay in touch, and that's something we've gotten out of the practice of.
When the
Yes.
bubble starts like that, it's going to pop. Stay on top of it. That's all I got to say about that. And there's people in
Well, and
Australia who lost the same thing at the same time. 38% gone.
it's not even just
Yeah.
that. My ex-husband works for the National Park Service, and so there's a some kind of a fund, kind of like what you're talking about. It's supposed to be for retirement, and I just found out today that it was connected to the stock market. I never knew that, and so it had, like, I don't know, thousands of dollars were gone because of what's happened with the stock market.
Yep.
That's
That
like everything runs together. That's like if you look at like oh the oligarchs of the time, like J.P. Morgan and the rail systems and the steel industry and all this. They were telling the government what to do because they had more wealth than the government and they had more influence. That's like Carnegie. Carnegie wanted the government to pass a bill to where he can purchase some land going through, I believe it was the Indian Territory. And the government was fighting him, saying, no, we ain't going to. He said, well, I'll shut my railroads down. And he did. And then I don't know why or how come, but they finally said, okay, they gave in, you know, because these people outside of the government had so much money and influence that are basically our government was just puppets to them.
That's a good point. Don't always come at the government because I'll give you one example. Philip Morris International. You put them out of business Monday, the entire treasury, everything in the United States and other places will collapse. Will
well,
collapse.
the Vatican calling in their assets, the stock market crashing, the banking systems, everything that's happening through there, it is all connected. It's all
Oh, yeah.
connected together,
Yeah.
and that's why there's been such a push for the past few years of the getting into precious metals, investing into that, something you can hang on to, getting your money out of whatever you have it in, because we don't know what's going to happen to it.
It all goes to in 1213, the Verona Treaty. If you get time, look it up. It's where the Pope placed claim to all of the land on the earth and all the souls upon it.
Yes.
You know, and it's like you look at things now. Even Christians don't really believe. I don't believe they even believe in God anymore because God did not give the Pope this earth. He didn't give Exxon Mobil the oil. He did not give, this is the people's. And a lot of wars were fought because some of the people who in these countries they wanted to take, and if they had oil, they were going to share the profits amongst the people. And the banks didn't like that because they wanted that money to go into their banks. And a war breaks out. Kind of funny how that works, ain't it? You know?
Yes.
You first have to realize war is a business.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is.
You know,
And those are the people that I'm going to feel the most sorry for are the current vets that are still alive because when they find out about the wars that they fought, and that's as far as I'll go, they are not going to be happy
They know.
campers. Like my father that fought
They
in
know.
Korea came home with PTSD and now has Alzheimer, and it's a disgrace the way war is money. War is a money maker, always has been.
Well, I'm a veteran, and I
I
know
know.
I know other veterans. What happened in the past, whatever the reason we actually went to war. I served with pride, and I know every other serviceman served with pride and
I'm
honor.
sure you did, John.
You
Sure
know,
you did.
and regardless of what we find out, that will never change.
No, it won't exactly, but it still will make some veterans angry.
I think most of them know. They've been in here listening to things long enough that I think most of them know what the deal was.
Mhm.
And um, but have you noticed the speeches coming out of the White House lately that keeps saying the soul of the nation? To me, that's concerning.
Which, yeah, you mean the one the potato behind the green screen? Yeah, I know. It's
That's what I say.
back to Blackwatch, which you're talking about. With currency and markets and all that. Well, the Fed and the stock exchange, they manipulate that every freaking month.
Well, sure they do.
Oh yeah, look up Libor, Libor. Go to the Department of Justice and type in Libor.
You talking
These,
about the Libar index?
yeah,
Yes, I'm well aware of that, John.
they alter the percentage rates
Sure they do.
on a daily basis. Well,
Hmm.
they were caught in a scam, and it was $450 trillion that they actually manipulated the market.
Where are you going, Deanna?
Hi, Mama T. I'm
Oh,
saying hi,
Mama,
Mama.
please.
Yes.
But
But
I'm just walking around. I'm taking y'all with me. I'm feeding my dogs. I've already fed the horses, so we're not going down there.
how about a sandwich?
A sandwich sounds good, doesn't it?
No, sandwich. Yeah, I could
With some
use
of
one.
these jalapeno chips.
Nah, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. I want
Spicy.
meat and cheese.
Yeah,
But this is good. I enjoyed this conversation.
I did too.
that's fun. Yeah,
It's
thank you,
good.
Bonnie. It's a good
You
show.
you all had very good points. Guardian, John, Blackwatch.
Even Blackwatch.
No, he made some points. I mean,
I
that's
love to tease him. It's so
I
fun.
know.
I left a comment in the private chat,
Okay.
and that's my
Oh
personal
yeah, I like that. Yeah, I
the
bet
way
you.
I look at things. It's
Mhm.
like
I must have been gone. I don't see it. That's okay.
you know we need to take the labels off and become human beings again. You
Yes.
know that we're all brothers and sisters, and we all have a common denominator. You know,
Mhm.
we all love our children, and we want what's best for the future of our children, if nothing else. You know, and we can build off of that.
Where did the thing of letting kids be kids? I'll allude briefly to it. My daughter married. She shouldn't have married, and now she's with somebody else and had a final daughter. She's not going to have another. And she's at 12, 13, 14. They're all flipping out about her. I said, relax. Let the kid be a kid. She'll figure it out. Give her a bit of guidance and she'll figure out. I won't get specific, but where she's going to go with her identity. Relax. Relax. What are you panicking about? It'll work out. It, but where were kids being kids? When I was young, you did. Grade school, I can see these people in your face walking in and however they're dressed, trying to guide grade school kids. Let them be kids. They'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
Remember when they wienered down the playgrounds? They made the swings all shorter, took away
Yeah.
the slides, really good slides. I guess they were
Yep.
sick of those ER visits. That's where this scar came from, right in between my eyes,
Yeah.
was because I fell under a merry-go-round, and the thing was all rusty at the bottom of it, and it just like
Yeah.
And
like.
We
And
had,
you lived.
we
I
had a
don't think they
we had a
hold me down
stone
very good.
playground,
Yeah.
gravel.
and
Yeah.
learning what happens when you try to go all the way around the bar on the swing. Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, hi, Pamela. How are you?
Hello, D Dog.
Hey,
How are you?
That's true. We all have scars around our eyes, I'll bet you. Where's your scar around your eye, D Dog? I'll bet you got one.
nope.
No way. Ask your mama.
Mine are on my head. I have knots on my forehead.
Do you?
Yeah, we used to have slingshot battles, and
Oh,
not scarred.
ow.
Oh boy.
Ow,
But
ow.
you talk about the states, like the individual state thing. I get what you're saying, but don't forget, it was probably in the 60s or 70s. You know,
What is
Dade
he
County,
doing?
Florida, Dade County, whatever went on there was normal until your country said, no, it's not. If you remember Dade County,
Oh,
Yeah.
Dade County.
Miami-Dade.
Yep, yep. I
Miami.
do remember Miami-Dade County.
So you get the local things together. I'm just saying, when you talk about states, but who's going to speak for the USA? Who's going to speak for Canada? You're on a worldwide platform. You're not going to have Indiana. You're not going to have Illinois. You're not going to have,
What?
What? What are you talking about?
Why not? What's your problem?
because you can't function. And no country can function as provinces, states, and everything on a worldwide platform. You're going to have,
Our states are our own countries.
That's why it's called the United States.
no, but this is my point. You have to have a common position as the USA, for example, as Canada, as England, as whatever.
What?
You
What is he saying? I don't know what he's
I
saying.
don't know.
no, you
I
have to have.
pledge allegiance
Blah,
to
blah,
the
blah. It's like
flag
blah, blah,
of the United States of America
Right.
and to the republic for which I stand, one nation, under all, indivisible,
Right,
with liberty and justice for all.
exactly. A nation, not a bunch of states.
But
No,
that's
Well,
what
the
we
states make
Canadian.
up a nation, Blackwatch. The states make up a
It's
nation.
Canadian. That's what we
Yeah,
are.
listen, if I had to go back, yeah, I'd be Scottish. I wouldn't be Canadian. So
Can't help it. You're a Frenchy French.
I was going to say, well, Scotland's having a real good time over there, aren't they?
E-Dog.
What up?
I don't know. What's that shirt say?
Doesn't say anything. It's got writing on it, though.
See,
Oh,
you
it's
would think you would learn by now.
Those are our favorites. Guess what?
Guess
Chicken
what?
butt.
Chicken
I love
butt.
that. I say that. I like that one. That's a good one.
why can't I see the gallery in StreamYards? Why did it change?
Because you touched something. That's why.
See it in Zoom, but I don't see it in StreamYards anymore.
Stop
I
touching
feel
the
relegated.
buttons.
I
Stop
feel,
touching buttons.
I feel relegated. I feel centered out.
Maybe it's one of those shadow bands that mysteriously goes around different streams doing shit.
That could be. You got a point there, Eric.
Sorry, Bonnie, I keep
It's
forgetting.
probably just a Canadian thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I chalk it up to usually.
I'm not Canadian. I'm Ontario.
Okay, whatever. It's your story. You tell
Tell
it the way you
yourself
want.
whatever you want, Blackwatch.
I always thought, it's my dream. I woke you all up to take part. So there.
Deplorables in the house? What?
What?
Is the deplorable chicken hen here? I didn't see deplorables in
I think
there. Somebody said.
I think she's just talking about the shirt.
Oh yeah, maybe
Maybe.
so. Maybe she's listening. We love you, deplorable. We love you. Well, what are you up to, D Dog? Are you giving anybody hell these days? Got any good stories for me? Got any good news? Could really use some good news.
No, no good news. People just
Oh,
ain't getting it.
yeah.
That could be taken two ways. Just
Well,
saying.
you can take it the way you want. Doesn't matter.
Um, where is it?
Ronnie
I
gets
have
it.
something.
Uncle gets it. Eric gets it. John Dunning gets it. I think Guardian gets it. Mama T gets it. Jen gets it. Cindy gets it. Discernment. I don't know. It. Love you, discernment. I know you get it. A lot of you get it, but a lot of people still don't get it, right? What are they missing? What are they not getting?
Opinions vary.
But I want his.
You know,
Well, let's go to energy independence. Um, the land that the government is giving grants or not, or giving land leases or not giving them, as the case may be, is not theirs to own or claim. That
Land
all that stuff
patents.
belongs to the states, and the states can give out those land leases if they want.
So is this about the property being sold to China?
But okay, if we're going to get into the farming thing, America shouldn't have allowed another country to buy its land anyway.
Well, I didn't even know that was legal.
It's not.
It probably isn't. I haven't looked into it.
Canada owns sovereign land in Michigan in an attempt to complete the another Ambassador Bridge.
They better get out quick.
Well,
Y'all better get out.
you guys were dragging your feet. You want sand to make all the money on this old rickety old bridge over here.
Oh, is that it? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. You Canadians know a lot about our politics, don't you? You do, because you listen. You guys actually do. I know a few of you Canadians.
It's true, without, a slant to it. I don't know about present um, education, whatever people, but back into the day, we did, an awful lot about other places, perhaps too little about our own, you know.
And Guardian was talking about not being exactly pleased with the prepper nation, but the preppers are no different than in the Bible, having to do with human nature of being in control and having power.
Yeah.
And the preppers are looking at it, having food or whatever they're prepping for is their source of power.
Yeah,
True.
good point.
So it all falls into human nature. You put someone in power, and they're going to do whatever they can to become the king. But if you keep your elected servants in check, they'll never get out of hand.
They got way out of hand.
Yeah, and it's been like that for a couple centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Victory gardens were what, the 50s? When every family was growing, gardening victory gardens. Your garden's probably a victory garden. I know a guy who goes to victory garden. And you have like 3 gardens his size, so because he provides enough food for his family and then some. And his kids and stuff. And his wife cans it up, and he's always done that. And some people just stopped doing that, and they fell for the Roundup on the dandelions, like one of their best medicines that we have. Like we fell for all that, and people sued Monsanto or Monsanto or whatever, however you pronounce it. People sued them, and people were aware of them. I remember at my kid's school, my one friend stopped another parent who was using Roundup. She like just ran up to her and she's like, "I don't want you spraying that on here." Right? And this is my friend who just had the wedding and stuff, and she's right because they're on a mountaintop and that stuff is poison. And but the way she did it, just it wasn't received well. Like it's not, that's not how we're gonna come to a compromise. There's other things you
And
can
how many
do
places
now.
now has even outlawed being able to have a private garden, collecting
That's
rainwater, and
ridiculous.
that kind of stuff?
Is that for
Well,
real?
well,
Yep,
on
Yes.
private
for real.
property, if you know your rights, they can't screw with you.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It all goes back to our ignorance.
Thank you, Kino.
We need to be educated in every area in this, topics, because, we've gotten so far, we don't know what our money is. We don't know what our government is. We don't know what our religion is. We don't know, you know, um, because it's become all garbled,
Well, your religion is something you have to find within yourself.
But you have to know that, and we're not teaching the kids. We've gotten away from, that. I was never taught a lot of things that I'm now realizing, and it's like, wow, I'm trying to pass that on to my daughter and my grandchildren. These things. Um, but it's like, wow, what kind of life would it have been if we all, if the world was truthful and transparent, where we knew what our government was doing when they were doing it.
But you just moved over something very important Devil Dog said, and it's a simple statement. Find your religion within yourself.
I have a question for the panel and chat. How many people read 3 chapters in the Bible every day?
No.
3 chapters. I read 2. But today I did read 3. So I can raise my hand today.
For today.
For today. I read 2.
If you read 3 chapters a day, you can complete the whole Bible in 1 year. And in the 1800s, that was
Required reading.
what people did. It wasn't required. It's just what
No.
people did. And even today, if you know and understand the Bible, you hear someone talking and they're using actual scripture in their discussions, and they don't know it. It's become common language in America, actual scriptures, and nobody knows that they're talking about scriptures.
That's like
I
when
know
that's like when I was mentioning about, who owns the world. It's not ExxonMobil, it's not our governments, it's not, it's each and every one of us. Whatever we decide to do as a people, whether it be pump the oil out or, whatever, this should be spread out amongst us and not just, um, Bill Gates or Elon Musk or, these robber barons, profiting off of it.
Maybe I'm splitting hairs, but it's me. I don't believe in religion. I believe strongly in faith, though. There's a big difference to me.
Well,
personally.
I can tell you something personal. I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic grade school, public high school, plenty of Bible study. Was an altar boy for 7 years. After the CV-19 came around, we stopped going to church. And, we still pray, but things change. And then the more this information that has come out about, like all of the books, like on Enoch that are missing, and nobody knew about that back in the day. So you're kind of left like, well, was I following a religion that was bastardized, and now I'm like, I mean, I know who my God is, but it's kind of a shocker, and a lot of people won't admit to that. I will. So, like D-Dog says, you find your religion inside your heart. That's the way I go now. I don't need to be in a building to talk to my creator. And
The,
that's
the biggest problem I have, and yeah, it's after one sector, if you will. The idea that you're married to God is not natural. It's not natural. It just blows me away.
I didn't say married.
No, not you, not you. I'm not saying there's certain faiths that you're married to God, physically married to God, and that's not natural. That's not natural.
What's your idea of natural?
Did you're okay? I was raised Anglican, and within that there was a gentleman that was made a canon, and he was straight laced. Yet the minister that married me was no young guy, but he was human. He was a person. He had a family, and that made me comfortable. It with the other one that was a canon was all straight laced. This is the way it is. There's no variation. There's no very uncomfortable with that. I'm just saying it's not natural not to be human. Whatever that means within the individual. This concept of nuns and priests in particular. It's not you can exist as a human being and still have God, to me.
Okay, I want to ask D-Dog a question. So the first time I did my affidavit, D-Dog, at the notary, they gave me this extra piece of paper at the end of it. But then I just realized they didn't give me a second. They didn't give it to me on this other one for some reason.
Did you use the same notary?
Yeah, same exact one.
Did you on either one of those two documents that you had? Did you actually have the oath that you're supposed to take on them?
Yeah, she had us say. I'm trying to find the other thing too. Because on the second one, I got 3 whole signatures on it, mine and 2 guys, but I haven't sent either one in. But I have these 2. The first one was the mistake one where California, it said Arizona in 2021. But this one I did on August 30th, and it's all correct. And I have 2 signatures.
Yeah, that's the one that we went through line by line.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was just looking for that other piece of paper they gave me. I just saw it too. I don't think it matters. You never mentioned that. But these are the remedies. So people always ask me, well, what good does it do? And if I don't see anything happening right away, am I to doubt that it's going to do something with the grand jury? Because is it always a grand jury, or is it just at some point we just go to court too? So I'm not sure on that process, but I know that we're building our claim.
Right. Like you drop that one affidavit you have, and then something similar, you drop another affidavit on. And by them not responding, by acquiescence, they admitted guilt to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep adding to it and adding to it. We have elected servants that have over 80 affidavits. Whenever we want, we'll drop a claim and we'll just burn their ass to the ground.
Well, because I know my friend Linda's had 6 judges removed, but I don't get to talk to her a lot because she has a stupid phone. And I wonder what that looked like for her.
Well, the
to
first
be
time she was
removed.
probably terrified.
But it would happen in the courtroom. It wouldn't happen through paperwork.
Well, through your affidavits, that's your testimony.
Right.
You
And
you
then
don't
she
have to get up
goes,
there and say nothing.
okay, right. See you guys. Let me go shut my husband's bedroom door. It's blasting some show. I'll be right back. What are you watching?
Poor man. Poor man.
Well, Cindy, people are not individuals. A person is an individual or a corporation. People are a body politic. So a people of one is still the body politic that has supremacy over your elected servants. And it could be, 10 people in your body politic, or 100 or a million. People is correct, singular or plural, but it shows that you're in charge.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
so
T-Dog, can I
it
ask you a
looks exactly
question?
the same.
Did I
Sorry,
just hear you
Guardian.
say that you've got several affidavits filed on somebody and you're just sitting there waiting to drop the bomb?
Yep.
Okay, can I ask why the wait?
They're probably going to lose their seat, and whenever they get out of their seat, it's easier to take them on as a human than as an elected servant.
Okay.
Makes sense. Take
You know that because through the affidavits, we show them where they conspired against our rights and where they used color of law against our rights. Which takes their limited immunity away. But you have to fight with one of those fake judges to actually make it happen. Now, if they don't get their seat back, then we can just run over them like a steamroller.
So that makes it a civil thing then
Yeah,
at
it
that
makes it a
point.
lot easier. Plus, we can take all their assets and put them on the street. And you do that a few times, and then the politicians will start going, "Hey, I'm doing my job wrong."
What? They will.
If you take somebody and put them on the street because they were infringing on your rights, the other politicians will think twice before signing this bullshit they've been signing.
Well, if this other lady that Dee knows has had 6 judges removed, I would think that would be enough to throw a scare into a bunch of them.
She's been alone for 16 years, dude.
the judge thing, it depends what level the judges are. If they're at the county level, then they're a bunch of nobodies. If they're at the state level, then that's an actual victory.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are all your judges elected? Is there none appointments at any level? I know
What?
Supreme Court.
I don't know.
Okay, the Supreme Court is supposed to be the highest court in the land, but what you don't hear is the Superior Court is higher than that. And then under my family name, my Superior Court that I can actually have is higher than that.
No, my thing is I don't think anything here is elected in a judicial way, but in the states,
Jen.
you have elected judges.
Right, but the judges at the state level are appointed.
Okay.
They still have to go through the legislature to be approved.
Okay.
They're not appointed by the people.
No.
Right, they're appointed by your representatives. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I guess what I found out when I talked to this one representative, he knows that he was appointed the first time. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
And then he's being elected. So they know that no one's paying attention, and not enough people are paying attention, and it's just maybe something could happen though. Still, I still believe in the process. I still believe our Constitution's relevant and works, and I'm still going to do it. And then I was assaulted with that GOP guy. My husband was out of town at the time. He was out of town. That was the day he was leaving for backpacking, totally out of range. So as soon as he got back, he went down there and he reamed their asses. And then I went to go there yesterday to get the name of the security guard and company, but it's all closed up. And the GOP here headquarters, they had to take out their windows and door and put metal garage doors that closed down because people were vandalizing them so much because they're pieces of garbage.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the other fun thing I get to work on if I want to. But I'll be calling you sometime, D Dog, to talk about trying to sort out, all of it because it's just so much. It's like I know you tell me I could really just start with the APD, the Arcata Police Department, because that really ties everybody together too. But I'm really trying to stop this Earth Center transit station. And the people have already spoken. They're not listening to me. That's what this affidavit's about. It's a note. I feel confident with it. I'm going to serve it to them. I mean, to the clerk and all the certified. I got to go to the post office next week, but that is that whole thing. But hey, Chuck, I'm sorry I'm rambling.
I already said, hey,
Oh, yeah. Hey.
I was listening.
Chuck, you ought to show that Welcome to the Neighborhood video. It kind of goes with what we've been talking about, the division, the communities, the everything.
The what video?
The Welcome to the Neighborhood video that Cindy was talking about, the funny one, you know.
Bonnie, panel, I'm getting ready to jump down.
Nope, I haven't.
I've done spoke my piece, and I don't.
Thank you so much for coming up, John.
Hey, John,
I
good
really
to hear
appreciate
your
it.
voice.
Yeah. Hey, John, good talking to you.
It was
Much
good
love.
talking to all of you. Love you all, your own brothers and sisters, and maybe we'll figure this BS out.
Maybe.
I hope so, sir.
I did leave a link in the private.
I saw it.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you get a chance, watch it. But anyway, love you all. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you.
John.
Good night.
Love you.
Thank you. God
Bye.
bless you.
Come back sometime.
I'm trying to remember which one was the Welcome to the Neighborhood.
The Californians coming to Texas.
Oh, no.
Texas staying howdy.
Oh,
See if I
shit.
can find it.
It's going to be bad.
Too bad Bonnie won't allow the Christopher Walken intro that Chuck plays.
Christopher Walken is such a creeper. I can't stand him.
Well, it's irrelevant, Deanna. He's funny.
It's the heebie-jeebies. He's a creeper and you know it.
I'm not.
Creeper. Christopher Walken. He's a slime dog.
He's funny.
He's
Yes,
a
I know.
murderer. He's a murderer.
Well,
That's
if you're talking about him and RJ in the boat with Natalie,
He knocked
whatever.
some girl off the boat. That's what my mama told me. She's
Not
convinced.
some girl, it was Natalie Wood.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of wood don't float, Natalie?
All right.
Oh, that is so bad.
That was cruel.
But
D-Dog.
true.
Yeah.
Such poor taste.
She was a good actress and a pretty lady.
It was funny.
They never did figure out what happened to Natalie Wood, did they?
They know. They got paid off.
Yeah, but still.
Yes, thank you, D-Dog. Jen's thanking D-Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mama T is also kicking ass on her city council.
Well, Deanna, look what we did in Florida. We changed how many school boards? Threw out all of the, the lefties that wanted the CRT. People down here are fed up. Threw them out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. I found it.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
they'll put up with it here. They'll
Well,
embrace it and the drag shows and all that.
that's disgusting.
They will.
I just can't believe that so much of that is happening in Dallas. Dallas is pretty with it, and it just
Yeah.
Well, isn't Houston gone by the wayside too?
Houston's gone by the wayside.
No, it's gone.
Always
Okay.
has been. All right, I'm gonna share this for y'all real quick.
Oh, great. Can't wait. Ah,
You know, maybe you can tell me down there. I have a theory up here,
what?
and the way it works down there. The Senate is a waste of money. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Say again. Say again.
The Senate up here as well. The Senate.
Yeah.
Get rid
Okay.
of them. They're wasted. They're rubber stamps. They're old boys that are getting paid off for being true to the party.
Well, there's a lot of old boys in the House too that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, but they have to show up more than the Senate does, as far as
Well,
I understand. It's a
Chuck,
waste.
do we need to mute to play this?
I'm not sure if you need a mute on that end or if I will.
I'll shut up.
I
It's
will.
not nothing. It's not nothing bad that you said. I don't think. I played it on mine and didn't get nothing over it.
Oh, look at D Dog's icon.
Oh, so I don't mute. Okay.
Oh boy.
Wait. Whoops. Get back up there. Okay.
You can make it full screen by clicking that little screen up the top left corner of it.
Left. I
See the
don't
top
think I
left
have to.
corner, the little window where you popped it up there. Look, there. Yeah. Can you start it, or I need to?
You need to. I don't have any control over it.
Let me find it.
Sorry about that.
Let me know if it echoes.
Okay.
Honey, someone's in your house. Someone's in your house. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Who are you calling house? I call Bob.
We're recording you.
No. It's okay. I'm just your neighbor. Coming by to say hi.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, we're not used to people stopping by to say howdy without assaulting us first, robbing us, or just being on our lawn.
Sometimes all three.
We're trying to track that. We're from Los Angeles.
Just moved to Texas.
I figured. Holy California plates? Yeah, the masks. Inside your own house. No one else around. 2022.
We just want to be extra safe.
We'll make it without masks.
We'll probably wear them for the rest of our lives.
Be buried. Okay. Well, you seem like a lovely couple. Like I said, I just wanted to drop by and welcome you to the neighborhood.
Why? Do you want something?
No. They're, I think he's being friendly. People around here are friendly. Have we seen it in movies, right?
I thought that was just make believe, like superheroes or families that go to church.
No. That's men. This is real life. So, I live in their house. I'm young. Name's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Tiffany. She, her.
And I'm Steve. He, him.
What are your pronouns?
I don't believe in pronouns. I think they're reductive. In fact, just your asking about it is a microaggression.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Yes, messing with you. I like all pronouns. Yeah,
I don't get it.
exactly. So, if you need anything, this home, my wife and I be happy.
Baby, he has a gun. I'm recording you.
No, it's okay.
That's funny.
Isn't that something?
And
thinking
it's
there's more to
amazing how
it.
true it is.
I know.
That was mean.
What
It
was mean?
was.
Yes, it was. They think all
I,
Californians are so damn stupid like that.
Did you finish, Deanna? Did you finish my sandwich?
Man, I could use a sandwich. No.
You said that last time.
I made two people a sandwich and I haven't ate one. True.
how many
It was
people around there that ain't the same mindset as you, Dee, do you see doing that?
Doing what?
Mask up still like morons.
in their
Oh,
house.
I'd say about a quarter of the people, maybe more. Fifth, sixth of the people. Less, I mean.
Yeah.
I was
I
at the dollar store and there was about 8 people in there the other day, and I laughed. I'm like, is something else going around? We got a new pandemic going on or what? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, that shit was 2 years ago. What's this? Oh, just being safe. I got
Mhm.
all the pokies, but I'm just being safe. I said, if you got all of them, what do you need that mask for? And if you wear a mask, what do you need those for? And besides that, did you ever look at the statistics of how many people got sick and died of the flu compared to the last 20 years? There's no different until they started them pokies. And then look at all these people that are dying of the flu
Yeah.
now after they get it. I said, top it off. Did you hear about the Amish? When any of them gets a runny nose, they all get together and drink out of the same glass, tea, water, whatever, so everybody gets sick and gets over it and builds their immune system up. They
Yeah.
don't run around with a thing on their face, breathing their trash in constantly. I should top it off. You know the main reason why the Amish didn't have none of this koofy? He goes, why is that? One of them did, and it's like, because they don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I walked out of the store and there's about 12 people gathered up then talking about it, and to see them all pulling their masks down.
Well, and I just read a thing that they put out about any disposables, the fabric that's going into your lungs from those
Mhm.
Like asbestos.
fabric, that the little particles,
Yep.
that it's toxic.
Yeah,
Another
like
form of
plastic.
like asbestosis.
Not only that,
Fiber something, I forget the name of it, like asbestosis.
not only that, but even if you don't have the coof, but you're wearing a mask, you're more apt to catch a cold because you're pumping the crap out of your lungs back into your mask and then you're sucking it back in. The other
Are
day, I was in a restaurant. Young couple came in, young, I mean, like 20 something. They had a little baby. They came in with their masks on. They waited for their dinner to show up. Then they took their masks off. Then they ate. Then they put their masks back on and they left. So I'm like, well, did this horrible disease just disappear while you're eating your sandwich and then it, you know what I'm saying? And then put it back on. And my brother walks 3 miles a day around a park. He's what? My older brother, he's 64. He got jabbed twice. I'm hoping he got a
Placebo.
placebo
Yeah.
yes.
because he hasn't had any reactions. And he says, Eric, he says, there's people walking outside with a mask on. I'm like, no. In the Florida heat? He says,
They
yeah. I'm
do.
like,
Oh yeah, they do.
these people are sick.
In the
Come
Florida
on.
heat. Yeah, in the Florida heat, they do.
Ugh.
And
Well, but it
also
bothers.
the bacterial pneumonia you can get from
That's what
Yes.
I was. Yes, exactly. That's the problem with the lie and people wearing something because of a lie for me, because you're actually likely to get more sick and even die
yes.
from that. And so
They
that's
say
the
wearing
problem.
those for more than 15 minutes is worse than if you put a pair of somebody's dirty underwear over your face.
Oh,
No.
I'll bet
Crap.
you stuff, yeah.
yeah.
So the next major question is, what
You know-
happened to common sense?
It's gone.
Oh, boy.
Hmm. Few people have it.
I mean, I see people driving their car with the window up and the air conditioning on, and they're wearing a mask.
I'm
Yep.
just thinking that it's like
I mean, where were you educated? Uh, I don't
I
know.
drive by and salute them and make their day.
What kind of salute, Chuck?
The one finger, I tell
The
them they're
one
number.
finger
Fine.
salute.
I let them know they're number one.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. It's wow.
Teflon. Yeah. Fluoride. Synthetic fluoride found in Teflon. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that big word.
Did you
Yeah.
But
watch
good
it
on you,
in
Jen.
India on the dirt floor with their dirty feet all over the fabric, sewing them up and making them masks? Did you guys see that?
Yep.
Yes, of course. Kids too. Little ones.
Well, how about the video over in, was it India? This is when the coup just started. And they had a camera out the side of this pickup, and there were just hundreds and hundreds of white body bags. And they didn't turn the camera off right away. And there's all these people getting up out of their bags, unzipping them, and, just standing up. I mean, the fraud was blatant back then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. What you were saying about the restaurants. So you're okay standing up, or no, sitting down, but you're not okay standing up. Clueless.
But you can eat, too.
Yeah.
That's
food-
why
There's no-
sense.
Oh yeah, it's gone. It's gone, you guys. It's gone.
That's
It's a
why
risk.
That's
For
why they
them.
quit the smoking in restaurants, because they said the ventilation doesn't just pull it straight up and out; it circulates it all through the place. So if you're sitting down and you're coughing and you're sick, it's just going to sit in the room too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why the hospitals had to change their whole air conditioning system because it was just pumping it back
Oh yeah.
to other rooms also. Yep.
Yeah, that was the one thing we read. So when it first came out, they told us how to what's it called? Sterilize a COVID desk area,
Right.
And so I read it, and it was like, wipe everything down, turn off the HVAC system, open the doors and windows, and for a little bit, you obviously can't leave the doors and windows open for 24 hours at an office facility, right? But you open them up for like an hour or whatever, and then they said after 24 hours, it's good. It's even good even if you don't wipe it down after 24 hours. I'm pretty sure. I mean, germs don't stick around forever, right?
Yeah, otherwise you'd get it off of toilet seats, faucets, doorknob. People touch their face like 30 times a minute. So.
I think it was 20 minutes in the sun. It kills it, is what I read too. So
that's called cooties, Chuck.
Such a joke what they had people doing, all this distance stuff, all this people falling for this, don't hug your people because you're going to get sick from them. They're the ones making us sick with their shedding crap. We're risking our health hugging them. I don't even know how bad that is.
Yeah, and I saw where he admitted that.
He
got it all wrong.
What was he looking for? What are you looking for?
Things and stuff.
Things and stuff for Jen? Well, she told her city council, I will be recording you. And they go, oh, yeah, we looked it up. We know it's okay. Okay, bitch. Sorry.
Yeah,
Right,
Jen, you said something about using 241. I dropped a link that will actually give you a little bit more fire to add to that.
Mama T gave it to her city council this week also. I'm pretty sure she was going the day I talked to her. The woman just had surgery last week. So some people are really trying, and
Yep.
they really are. And these ladies are two of them that I know. And not everyone can do this. No one expects everyone to do all these, but dang, you could sign it, and if someone's got it going on already, I think if it were me and I hadn't got involved in anything right now, I'd kind of just poke around and see who's doing what. Where are the constitutional groups? Is there a People for the Republic in your community? Because that's
Right.
who the ones we have in ours. That constitutional guy, he's a Marine, and he's been doing it for 10 years. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
stream. He doesn't want to let me stream his recordings. Some of these people with all the knowledge, they don't want to jive with the technology that could help us blast them out further. And that's my frustration.
Yep.
Like my friend Linda, too, that removed all the judges. She's got a shitty phone. I can't call her. She just emails. It's like,
That's one of the
you
things.
know.
If we,
He did a live recently. Sorry, Bonnie.
that's
Sorry.
okay. When we start meeting up, if when I get this going, and we meet up, I would like to ask, do you have your, do you have a constitution?
What we've been doing down here is we've been going to every county sheriff and asking them if they're
Yeah.
constitutional sheriff.
I've
And
already done that with the sheriffs.
the majority of them down here, if they're not, they're gone in the next cycle. But which is good.
Sun disappeared.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I have
Our
a
board
cone.
supervisor. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, now don't beat me up because I never had bachelor years. So I switched back to butter. You always have to put butter back in the fridge, or can it sit out? Just have to.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Black Watcher.
I
You're
can't understand what you're saying.
you're roboting.
Okay, but we'll see what it's like now.
That's better.
I switched back to butter. Now, can it sit out, or do you always have to put it back in the fridge right away?
What are you
I-
talking about? Butter?
Yeah, I never had bachelor years. So don't beat me up.
Okay.
I got married very young.
So is it unsalted, salted, sweet cream? What is it?
Well, probably salted, just regular butter.
Sticks
450
of butter. We've always left them sitting out with no
Yeah.
problem.
That way you're not beating up your toast when the butter's too hard.
Right. No,
Yeah.
when I grew up, you go to a fish and chip store every Saturday on the way home and everything. They always had it out.
Right.
But that's just me. You're absolutely right. It's like a rock. Try to cut it into fours but I meant to go back to butter at some point. It didn't happen until now.
Yep. Can I interrupt real quick? Jen is working on the 5G thing, right?
Yeah, and the blue lights.
No, we got plenty of that.
They're spraying some shit too. I think she's working on that too.
Yeah, well, she'll like this to give them a little threat of 5 years of prison.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I have that code too. Yeah, Peggy Hall shared that one. Is that about biological hoaxes or?
It has to do with anything. If they tell you it's going to be fine and someone gets sick, you can go knee deep into them.
Okay.
Nice.
That whole Title 18 is probably pretty badass then, isn't it?
Yeah, Title 8 and Title 18 is good to throw shit back in their face.
Let's see if I can get that.
What I found amazing was even just listening to Truth Tornado. That's why I was trying to encourage people a lot to just listen to that channel, because just hearing the language boosts my confidence, like it's like, oh yeah, this is what's up, but people don't believe it.
No,
Like, how do
people are in their own box, Deanna. That's why
Yeah.
they're doing their own deal. They don't wake up.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I think it's
Until
overwhelming.
something directly affects them, then they're like, oh, wow, really? Yeah.
Well, too
Yeah,
many
that's
people
why
right now are just in survival mode.
right. And that's how they keep us in this place.
Back.
If we're not in war,
Oh, we're in a war.
And
right.
stop and think about this. How many small businesses went out of business when all this first got started? And now with the prices going up the way that they are, how many more small businesses are going to go under?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's gotten bad. The gas has been a hurt on everything.
And
Well,
again,
that's
it
why I
goes,
said, everything they've
Yeah.
done has been targeted.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything.
2020 changed everything.
The government workers seem like it. Is there more government workers than there are entrepreneurs, though? That's the question. I don't know. Is there more government workers
Well,
than there are people that provide those damn jobs, by the
ask
way?
yourself this: why does the IRS need all of that brass cased lead and hiring, what, 80, 85,000 new people? For what? You
When
know?
was it, D Dog? How many years back when they said that the government had bought up so many millions of rounds of ammo
They're
and
doing it now.
had dished it out to even places like Social Security, income tax
Hmm.
office, and all that?
Well, okay. The federal government didn't buy shit. Like the Smithsonian, they have 900 and some armed employees, and they buy all their ammo. IRS, they've bought ammo and weapons for years. Um, all the different little three-letter agencies just kind of stock up on ammo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can anybody grab this
Wasn't there
link
a
and
point
put
a
it?
few years back where the government bought so much, of which I know it was with our money, not theirs, but they were passing it out to all these different groups?
Sure. The village idiot from Kenya did that too. And then he tried to, I forget don't hold me verbatim, but he tried that Operation, what is it, D-Dog? Operation something stop, where you're using, they'd go after a private company that's trying to do sales of munitions. They'd punish them. I forget, Operation Choke Point, I think it was called. And Obama started that. And they're buying it up now. Lake City, that's where most of the 223 and 556 is made. They came out on their own website and said, "Yep, we're selling it to them." So, unless they're part of the conspiracy, who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm waiting to see if anything happens to your governor, Eric, and your governor, Bonnie, for transporting all those illegals across America. It's a 10-year prison sentence, and the code is 8 USC 1324.
Okay.
Prisoners or immigrants?
Illegals.
8
Okay.
USC.
Hi, Dave's tube.
I put it in regular chat.
Why would it be illegal for them to help their government in D.C. help to get these people where they wanted them?
There's this little document that no one gives a shit about. It's called the Constitution. And by the way, happy birthday, Constitution.
Oh,
It's basically one of those things they're not allowed to do. So that they're taking illegals that have illegally came into our country and shipping them across state lines on top of everything.
Okay.
where they should just push them back to the border, and they have the right to do that.
I absolutely
So
agree
if
with
these
that.
two governors are doing something illegal,
Right.
um,
Well, they could push them
does
back
the
to the
fact
border, but
that
then what do you do with the
it's the
people
fact
that's
that the
supposed to be
current
watching the
phony
border that let them come right
administration,
back in?
that
Well,
this
I got
phony
nothing
administration,
out of that because two people were talking.
well, what I'm saying, I'm finishing my question. Does that matter that the fact that this current phony administration is breaking law that's already on the books, letting these people in? I mean, what supersedes what? Are we going to go after the governors that say no or not putting up with it? Or are we going to go after the administration that's the catalyst that's already breaking the law right at the border by letting them in?
Right,
Thank you, sir.
but the governors can stop them at the border and not let them in, but the governors ain't stepping up. The sheriffs can arm his community
Right,
and swear them all in and stop everything,
right.
and they're not doing their job. The
Okay, but
people are in charge. You look at any state constitution, Bill of Rights, within the first three, uh, all political power is inherent and derived from the people. Not all that same wording, but it's similar.
yes,
And until Americans learn that they're in charge, this clown show is going to keep going.
That's exactly what it is, too.
but in the very beginning of that,
Oh, boy.
do you remember the jet planes and buses that were on the other side picking them up and taking them to other states?
Yeah, but don't forget, Bonnie, when they first initially were flying them in, they flew them into military bases where the local municipalities could not get access to because it's
Bullshit.
federal land.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what they said, that they
Yeah,
can't
but
get
the
in.
sheriff can go anywhere within his county. No one can stop him.
So he can go into a U.S. military base and say, "I have power here."
He can go in there and he can arrest the pilot of that plane under
Okay,
that code.
okay, but I'm talking about actual access to a federal military, military base installation,
Yeah, it's in his county.
right?
He has control over his county.
Even though the land is deemed federal.
It's his county.
Okay.
The sheriff has more power than the president.
Yeah, I get it because I know they're elected, but would he do it?
Well, no, because he's scared to lose all those grants. That's why he plays with the feds all the time. The sheriffs take these grants, and attached to the grants are you have to participate with this federal program. Here's another grant, but you have to participate with this federal program.
Right.
And both those programs, I'll guarantee, are unconstitutional.
I believe you.
Yes. And to get on a military base, all they got to do is go to the visitor center, show an ID.
No, all he has to do
He
is go
doesn't
through
even
the
have.
gate.
Oh,
Hi, Dave.
That's the sheriff, not a deputy. That's the sheriff.
Right.
okay.
But I'm talking about if it's you've got 35 military personnel heavily armed. Is the sheriff going to do that when they say, no, you're not coming through the gate, irregardless of the law?
Well, if there was more sheriffs like Sheriff Mack and Sheriff Clark, then I don't think anyone would be pulling a gun on them.
True.
Because do you know anything about Sheriff Mack?
Yep. He was the one that started this.
Yep.
That started putting the information out.
Right. But Sheriff Mack is the only living human to take on the Clintons and win and to live and talk about it.
Well, that's a feat in itself. So, okay.
And he crushed the Brady bill. So anyone that has a handgun now,
right,
you can thank Sheriff Mack for fixing that because almost nobody would have a handgun now.
Well, when did that got nixed? And was it 92?
I don't know.
Nine?
You can go to the original filing,
Right.
which is under I think it's Mac v. US, and
Okay.
you follow it, and then it's either the second or third filing. It turns into another sheriff's name. I believe he's out of Montana. Now, whenever a case goes through the federal process, whoever is the last to file, it falls underneath their name. So it'll be Sheriff Mack, and then it'll be the other
Okay.
sheriff.
I got you. All right.
And that's where the final findings comes out. And the constitutional law in that is to the point where you can do just about anything that doesn't break one of the 631 laws of God, and you'll be fine.
So, in your opinion, D-Dog, do you think that the two governors are going to be punished?
No, because they would have to punish all the other governors that have accepted them. Like these sanctuary cities and stuff. The
Right.
mayors and the governors, because they're compliant to an
Right.
illegal activity, they'd end up going down too. So
Arcata's a sanctuary city. My town, where I live.
yeah, but a couple more good earthquakes, we don't have to worry.
Yeah, thanks.
Dee, did I tell
that's
you I
my
read
favorite
lips?
joke.
Yeah, just make sure you have a life jacket for your little puppy Friday.
Oh,
Shut up.
boy.
I'm up 2,000 feet high. As long as I'm up here on this mountain rock,
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have
There would be
ocean
one, Bonnie.
property.
So, what is that? Like some kind of a whatever kind of storm that's coming in the Pacific Northwest that you're talking about?
What? What do you mean?
Something's supposed to hit Washington, California.
That way?
wow.
Yeah, but give me one. Bring me
Really?
one.
Tin was talking about it, I believe.
California is sanctuary state.
And I got a storm fixing to come right up my butt, so I got to watch out too.
Yeah, there's a hurricane coming, isn't there?
Well, right now we call it a tropical storm deal.
Oh, excuse
What's
me.
its name?
We got to go. Shh.
Something with an I.
Fiona. I think it's Fiona, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was something with an I.
So Shrek's wife is coming?
I love
That
that
was
name.
Deanna, you're thinking of the one that was on the East Coast. I don't think it even hit.
Okay.
Can somebody
Ira
look that up? What the current? It's over Puerto Rico, or it's about to be.
Okay,
We're
here's
supposed to get
another one.
I should know this, but
Here's another one.
Something goofy.
oh my God!
Oh my gosh. What's he doing? No, someone made this up.
That's CG. He's got ears like Mr. Potato. Oh, brother.
Weirdos. Typhoon, huh?
They call for the lizard queen.
That would be weird. Typhoon. Hey, I heard that Lake Mead, you know how it was really crowded out? It was like almost empty.
Yes.
They had a bunch of rain, and those guys, Sin City, posted a video. I didn't watch it, I just saw the headline. All this rain almost fully replenished it back up or something.
Oh, shit.
I think it's doing a little better.
Wow.
Remember when they rescued that guy that was stranded? That was so cool.
Good night, baby.
David N is David's tube. Okay, good, because you freaked me out. I'm like, how do you know my name, you freaker? How do you know my name?
Oh, you're talking about
Saw
the
me-
troll, the troll that comes in?
No, Dave's tube is David N. You saw me looking at him like,
Yeah, he changed his handle. I think he changed his channel name to
my
Dave's
friend.
Cube.
Well, say hi. I'm the only one on camera. Everyone else is hiding. Say hi.
Is anybody in there?
He thinks I
Hi,
just
how are you?
Hello.
Is this the Brady Bunch?
I scared that GOP health thing. You went in there. You know he did.
I gave them hell, those rhinos.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah. They're all telling me I gotta file a complaint and do all this shit. We don't care about this, do we, baby? Yeah, we don't care.
And
I'm
don't you? No, I can't say that. Never mind.
Chuck, is this a bad thing?
No,
Chuck is
I
the
was
naughty.
gonna
I
say
wouldn't be a bad thing to put up there.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute this for a second.
I I had a few people
Thank you
ask
so much for my beautiful girls. Let this food bless our bodies and keep us safe.
Aww.
Son, Sammy, pray.
Amen.
That's precious.
Mm-hmm.
See how young you can teach them?
It might be a bad thing if you're a devil worshiper.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
I
nice.
just
That was beautiful, Chuck.
thank you. I just saw a baby face and I was like, let me
That's the
make sure
future of this
first.
country. That is.
Yes. I have seen videos of children 3 and 4 years old quoting scripture. It, it's like D Doug was saying earlier, way back in the day when the parents would sit there and read scripture to the kids. That was about the only book in the house way, way back. If they could get another book, it was a treasure, but so they knew it. They knew the Bible front to back.
I had a few people ask me, well, David, did he hurt his back? What was the thing?
I think he did.
Mm,
Uh, I think he has some back trouble anyway, but he
I,
had said somewhere today that he was feeling better.
yeah, I saw that video he put up. It was a little bit confusing to me.
Uh-oh. Who'd we lose? Deanna.
She'll be back.
Well, I've been on about 3.5 hours.
Yes, you have.
I didn't
Miss
expect
Bonnie, I apologize if I swore too much. So that's
y'all
you know,
did fine. I'm glad we had this discussion. It was good
I thought it was awesome.
to see the different points of view and
What's
of course D Dog always brings it with what what needs to be done, what
Yep.
we don't we may not always agree with it, even us, but still that's what we were founded on was the Constitution.
Was this one of your short, long 5 piece or one of your long, short piece?
This was about average.
3 hours, yeah.
Hey Chuck, can you go on for like 5 minutes later so you can play Christopher Walken?
5 minutes. Just for Eric.
Nah, he does it once in a while. He's a good guy.
David, I can't grab anything out of chat. Cindy put one up there earlier, and
Eric,
Yes, sir.
hold on. You can't see it, but
Oh, I can hear it.
oh,
That's okay, brother. I'll wait. I like the audio and the video.
oh, Eric,
It's good. I'm sorry, Bonnie. Sometimes it's good to get your frustrations out.
I know. Oh, the microwave bumped her out. Thank you very much, Deanna, for coming up. Appreciated all your input.
Always a trooper.
So Blackwatch, Guardian, D-Dog, Chuck, Bonnie, even that guy called Eric R. Awesome, awesome, very nice stream.
Yeah,
see, and
it was fun.
And Deanna, well, Deanna knows I love her. It's always good to get, and John, uh,
Yes,
the more perspectives you get, I think the wiser you get. So that's
and
just me.
that's what it is. Whenever we're having these discussions, or in your community, or on here, or anything, is have an open mind,
Yeah,
because different people see things differently, and talking it out is one way to come to a solution too. We're going to have to need to know these things later on if things start changing, and we get back to we the people. We are going to have to know how to have a community, how to survive in this world. Everyone's so used to having a government that tells them what to do, when to do it. It's going to take a long time for people to even get used to not having that.
right,
If it comes down to that, I'm just saying,
right.
it's
You
But
too. Go ahead.
I've when I was younger, sometimes I was accused of not being talkative, or maybe engaging in as much conversation as other people. And I would always get asked why, or what are you doing? And I'd say, I'm listening. And they'd say,
might be
why?
right.
I said, because you learn a lot about people when you listen.
It's not your fault, Eric, that Victor and I duct taped your mouth shut at a young age.
Now, Victor blew out early. I was going to have him attack you, but I figured no, it wouldn't be nice. So.
Victor knows better
And
than
Blackwatch, you got to understand, when I bust your chops, I'm only kidding.
No, I mean, you got to understand something. If I do it to you, it's because I care, because otherwise I could care less. I don't want to take
I know. I only engage people that I like, unless you're a real. I gotta watch it.
Don't
Bonnie,
say
do you have a swear jar here, Bonnie?
Yes, I
Oh,
not.
do.
you do? Uh-oh. Well, I think I owe you some money then from earlier.
yeah, Eric,
But
you thought I was a POS till you got to know me.
I wouldn't call it that. I think you're
Hi,
very
D-Dog.
fair. I think you're very fair.
I get kind of harsh, but I was like,
So do a lot of other people. But well, you all know what happened to me, but that's irrelevant.
yeah,
So you know, but that's what I told people. You learn more when you listen. Shut your mouth for a few minutes and listen, and then you know. But that might not be everyone's experience, but that's mine. So
yeah.
you know,
Most sweethearts are used car salesmen.
yeah.
For a lot of them, I ain't gonna say
I've been in
all.
the car industry was in the car industry for years. So
There's
oh
Vic.
God, there's Victor. Victor, go after Blackwatch right now, please.
I've
Bonnie,
been here.
I appreciate you allowing me to come up. Guys and gals, I
Guardian, I
appreciate all the
appreciate
different
you.
perspectives we got
Yes.
on everything, all the different opinions.
Yeah.
I think all of them are necessary to figure out where in the heck we're going to go next. So love you all. Take care.
Good talking to you, Guardian.
See you
Guardian,
next
see you
time.
later.
Buddy.
Bye,
God
Tati.
bless you.
Yes.
There's one thing I got to say at the end. I'm not atheist. I'm agnostic. I just want to see a little evidence. That's
Thank
all.
you, Chad.
You're breaking up again, Blackwell.
Well, it's probably my throat, so
All right, y'all. I'm going to close this stream down. I so
oh,
appreciate the panel tonight.
Yes, thank you,
Everyone
Bonnie.
I will be able to get those links later.
Mhm.
Not tonight,
Awesome.
because they
And a
cut
great,
my chat off.
a great, and a great chat too. So,
See
Yes.
you, Victor.
And
could I ask one thing since at the end, and hopefully it won't get reverberated? There's certain
okay.
things that happened recently. Did I get it right? It involved Eric and Chuck because I made a decision based on that.
it's something that happened between me and Chuck.
No,
No, it's something that happened. Say again.
it involved you, and then Chuck got it. And if I got it right, I made a decision. I left.
It's something that I reached out to Chuck about. That's something that happened to me,
Yeah,
which I don't speak about publicly anymore because it's irrelevant.
no,
The bridge was burnt. The bridge hit the water, and the water took it over the waterfall. So Chuck was gracious enough to listen to me, and as Bonnie was.
no.
Okay, I'm going to shut this down real quick.
So
Good night, everybody. Thank you, chat, for participating and listening to us. Love y'all. God bless you and have a good
Bye.
night.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.